Hello and welcome. It's been a while since the season has ended, but we are back as usual. It's us, the average FPLers. My name's Michael, and as always, I am joined by Russ and Gaz.
Hello.
Hello.
So the season has come to an end. Some of us are probably far more pleased than others. I'm just glad it's done now. I'm not missing it, surprisingly. I thought I would be after a week, but no, I'm kind of enjoying the rest and recuperation, especially with the murmurs that FPL is going to be back again live by about the 14th of June. So that's not that far away.
Blimey.
So yeah, we should probably get into the topics. It's an end of season review kind of thing. See where what happened, what we think, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we're going to go back and revisit game week 38, have a look how we did there and how we ended the season. And then we've got our season review. So we're going to look at our mini league, where we all finished, how we did. And then we've pulled some statistics down. So we're going to go through those and see kind of how we did from that perspective. We've pulled something down called our teams of the year. So it shows players that did well for us. And then we've made our own picks based on that, or based on our heart kind of thing, in terms of our players of the season and our worst picks of the season as well. So yeah, we might as well get into it. So game week 38 review is up first. Well, I could start with me because I was in the cup final, so it was quite a big final game week for me, and I usually do really badly. But luckily, it went quite well, and I won the cup, which I'm
Yeah.
probably going to mention loads and loads of times. So,
Yes. It's the average FPLers Cup before anyone asks.
oh yeah,
Otherwise,
it's the mini league
otherwise
cup.
it
It's
sounds
not
like
the
you're
overall
tooting your own
cup.
horn like you won like the biggest cup, and they're like, "Oh, where did you come?" And you're like, "Oh no, not that one."
Oh, believe me, if I'd won the overall cup, yeah,
Well, you get quite a lot of swag if you win the overall one. So yeah, it'd
yeah,
be quite the brag.
yeah. But still, it's quite nice to it's our inaugural mini league cup because that was the first time I've done it, and
Oh, it added an element of competitiveness and enthusiasm and excitement.
yeah, I quite like that element they added this year. I like the fact that you had the little cups and yeah,
Gave you
it
a
was good.
reason if you started to wane towards the end of the season to keep going if you were still in. Something to
Yeah,
keep playing for.
I know.
And if depending on how many mini leagues you're in, you
Mhm.
you you you're in cups for those as well potentially. So it's all
Yeah,
worth it and all fun.
I thought
Hmm.
so. Yeah, because normally you just have the overall one, don't you, and the English one, and or your country and the club you support. But yeah, it's nice to have a few more that you could think, oh yeah, I've got that to play for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's nice to have a few more cups that you can go out of the first time around. Yeah, great fun.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it depends on how you did, but yeah, it was a nice element when it was going well. So, but well, we'll see in a moment how we all did in terms of like our mini league and the overall and an English Cup. Um, but yeah, no, it was a good finish to the season for me anyway. Green Arrow. I managed to stay in the 100k. So yeah, I've got my best points tally and my highest rank, I think. But let's get more into the season review. Yeah, in terms of the week, it was good. Captain Sun, and that eventually paid off. It was looking a little bit scary to start off with.
yes, he was very tired towards the end of the game. He said in the recent interview that his teammates had told him that Salah had just scored, so he found another level just to get something
Oh, that's handy. Yeah.
because he was properly fatigued by then and ready to come off.
Hmm.
So, and bearing in mind, Tottenham, I think we're at that point cruising 4-0, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't have begrudged if he'd gone off.
Yeah. I
Would have
can't.
saved my rank if he had.
Yeah. 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 Well, yeah. You. I guess you tried to go differential. You went Mane captain, which started off well.
It went great second half. He scored early in the second half as well,
Hmm.
only for it to be ruled out. And I thought, we're on for something here. Wolves are terrible.
Yeah.
Liverpool know that they're in it. Man City were losing by that point,
Yeah.
2-0. So I just thought, oh, they're gonna hit the gas, and Liverpool are gonna absolutely turn it on, and they did not. After that disallowed goal for Varane, they
Well, by the time they managed to get ahead, Man City had pulled it back, hadn't they? So I guess that
mhm.
deflated them.
Yeah, but they lost a lot of the wind out their sails after that disallowed goal. They didn't score for like 30 minutes. It wasn't
Yeah, I
until they
felt like
Salah.
they were trying too hard, weren't they? A little bit. It was a little bit of that to it, I think.
Possibly. I mean, there's
Which is
there's
actually what they did in the Champions League final, I think.
I that and potentially fatigue.
Yeah,
It seemed like they were tired.
yeah,
It's
maybe,
been a
but
long season for them, so and they just run out of gas right near the end. I mean, a lot of them were carrying injuries.
true. I mean, Salah had only just come back from injury, hadn't he? So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, it was all right. You know, Spurs still won. Spurs got Champions League. That's all I cared about in the end.
yeah.
I went for a gamble, didn't pay off. I kept Seth Sterling because I was absolutely certain he would start over Mahrez. I was right. Mahrez was absolutely shocking, and he got took off. And the second he got took off, Man City started turning it around. But unfortunately, that blocked Kulusevski, who I benched in favour of Sterling.
Oh, yeah, yeah. 16 points on your bench.
So if Man City had gone in front and had been cruising, Sterling probably wouldn't have come on. And that would have meant 16 points off the bench and a green arrow. And then I wouldn't have got into the top 100k, but I would have hovered near it.
No,
But
plus you'd taken a -8 as well, so yeah, I can't remember who you brought in
I
on
brought
that.
Mane in. I brought Sessegnon in,
Oh yeah.
and I think I brought Reece James in as well. Yeah, as a gamble.
So it weren't too bad in terms of who you brought in, but obviously you bench Kulusevski, which yeah.
Yeah, I made the choice to bench Kulu because I thought Man City would keep a clean sheet, and I thought Sterling would absolutely start. I
Yeah.
knew Arsenal were going to absolutely destroy Everton. I never in my mind did I think about selling or benching any of them. In the end, I could have benched Saka and got more from Kulu, but
Yeah.
yeah. And Rudiger, thankfully, last ever game for Chelsea, kept a clean sheet. They subbed him early. He got all 3 bonus because Chelsea conceded right near the end.
Oh yeah, that was the other reason I put him as your star player. Yeah. Forgot that.
That's
you
the only reason I kept him. I knew it was his last ever game for Chelsea, and they would give him a proper send off.
but
And I thought Watford are terrible.
the fact you managed to get the clean sheet off him, whereas other people that maybe had Alonso, for example.
I still had Reece James.
Because I think I
That's my
started
score.
Alonso, and obviously he didn't play.
No, he didn't play at all.
So I got
I wish
Charlie Taylor.
I much prefer if I'd bought Alonso instead of James, then Kulusevski would have come into my squad. So I'd much rather have done that.
Yep. But yeah, typical.
Hmm.
Yeah. But Gaz, quite a good last game for you as well, I guess. Green Arrow. You kind of achieved your kind of end of season goal, which was to stay in the top 500k.
Yeah. I wasn't really going anywhere rank wise for the last kind of half of the season. I was kind of just in and out of the 500k. So I thought I'll just get under 500 and get my score from last year, which I did just.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
It wasn't by much. It was only like 20 or 30 points.
Right.
I guess it's an improvement.
Yeah, still
I
good.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, defense wasn't great. Anderson on the bench against United. I should have expected that Man United would not turn up in their last game, but I thought not sure. So yeah, Anderson would have been nice to get his because he got clean sheet and free bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I brought in Barnes and Pope. Pope got 2, Barnes got 6, so it wasn't all bad.
That's not bad for Barnes, normally he lets us down, doesn't he? But
I think he got an assist
Yeah.
for one of the Vardy goals. So
I mean,
yeah, and Son, right.
Matt Madison did well in the last few weeks.
Yeah, he did. He got quite a few points towards the end.
I think
which
he was
good.
the top scorer for the last month, I
Okay.
believe. So yeah.
Okay, that's good.
So he was the ideal player to have. Yeah, he came good.
Richarlison as well, but obviously he didn't play against Arsenal. They gave him a rest
Yeah.
because they were safe, so he didn't come on. So Ings came on for 1 point,
A 1
which
point.
standard performance from him.
Yeah, he's not had the best of seasons, to be fair.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. he burned me a few times, Danny Ings, but we'll get to that in the
No, I
review.
mean normally he's one of your go-to players and he does well for you, but yeah, not this year.
Yeah, so no, he's playing second fiddle to Watkins, so
Yeah.
not the main striker, and he's not really doing anything when he comes off the bench. So
No.
yeah, and he's quite expensive for. I think he's 7-7, which is quite expensive for a player that doesn't play 90 minutes.
No, but I mean the year before he was up there, weren't he? He was one of the top strikers, really.
Yeah,
Especially in FPL terms, anyway. So, but yeah, this is first season at Aston Villa, isn't it? And yeah, I guess it hasn't quite gone that well. Average.
no,
Injuries, managerial change, poor form.
yeah. But yeah, Green Arrow, you can't really argue with that.
No. I think that's fair enough. But yeah, cool. Well, I guess if we're done with that, we should move on and get into talking about how our seasons went. I can't remember what's up first. Yeah. Yeah, just to kind of review how we did in our mini league and whatnot. So, didn't quite make it top, but I got second place. Mike, you're down in 5th and Gaz 7th. It's been a lot more competitive this year, our mini league.
Yes, more competitive, and if you made one bad decision, it can scupper your season, along with potentially affecting your decision making.
Yeah. I mean, towards the end, I think there was quite a battle in the top 6 or 7, probably.
Places changed frequently.
Yeah, I mean, I was down in 6th for about like the last 4 game weeks or something like that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, my wildcard went well, and obviously I had De Bruyne captain the week when he got 4 goals. So that shot me up to second. That was kind of what saved me and put me up there, but I'll take it. Yeah. Are we happy with that? How are we feeling?
I mean, I 4 weeks before the end of the season, I said my season was done. So it is what it is. I'm not worried. It was a bad season. I had 2 free hits in the last 4 game weeks, and I didn't use both of them at all with any real oomph or any real smart decisions. And I showed small signs of life. I think it was in 36 with some good choices. Because I had Sterling. That was the only thing that kept me treading water. I had Sterling, whereas no one else in this mini league or in the top 100k had Sterling. So even though people had De Bruyne, I had Sterling and just tread water and kept going. But yeah, no, I bested my previous season's total points, but
So we all did that, didn't we? So from what Gaz just said.
Yes, a second year running.
So that's that's pretty good.
But it's also bearing in mind this time last year, a lesser score got me in the top 70k,
Yeah.
and this year I'm 159. I think it is 160. So it was a topsy turvy season, and it was far more competitive. And certain decisions cost you certain luck that went against you, especially in the early season with match postponements due to COVID that were postponed like an hour before kickoff. There's nothing you can do to counter that. So a lot of people lost anything between 2 to 5 players, and then of course the people who didn't have those players then had the advantage when a double game week was put in the second half of the season. So because they picked those players, like Aston Villa, for example, I had Aston Villa players over Christmas postponements, so I lost out on the points there. I didn't have a backup keeper for Martinez because my backup keeper was an Aston Villa keeper. And then obviously everyone later on in like game week 27, 28, when Villa had a double picked, Coutinho had been signed by them in January, and then they got, I think it was like 30 plus points, and I didn't go back there. So decisions like that were.
Yeah, that was a bad week for me as well. I think it was definitely a red arrow that week. So I didn't have Coutinho, but
so there was a lot of variance, a lot of luck. I mean, hopefully. I mean, I'll say it again for this, third year running now. Hopefully, there won't be this much going into next season, but there's going to be a World Cup like 9 weeks after the season starts, so there will be.
Yeah, but at least it won't be. It'll be more planned. It won't be last minute.
It's planned, yes, exactly.
I mean, it's going to be different because of that.
They need to set out guidelines. Like they can't just throw in an extra free hit midway through the season because of the World Cup, for example.
No.
Because they added a second one, and then that put me off playing the only one I had, which I was going to play earlier in the season when there was blanks.
Well, you're a holder. I mean, you hold all your chips until the end, don't you? So.
Well, if there's no need to play them, there's no need to play them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
My rank will show that in the first half of the season, I did relatively okay, and then when I had chips to use in the second half, I started hemorrhaging and getting red arrows. I think I only got 2 green arrows in 15 game weeks. So.
Yeah, I think, we'll see the stats. There is a stat that gives you the number of green arrows. I think yours was the lowest, but yeah, I mean, you were quite high up.
Yes, I started the highest, which means the only way is down from there if you don't make correct decisions.
Yeah, that is true.
But nevertheless, I did okay in the cup. I got to the semi-final, but I went out in the semi-final because I blew my free hit because I didn't have any Everton attacker. I didn't have Richarlison and I didn't have Ollie Watkins. I went for triple Everton defence because I thought Everton at home kept clean sheets against Chelsea. They nearly kept a clean sheet against Manchester City. They beat Arsenal at home. And I think they kept Tottenham to a 0-0 at home. And so I thought, this is in the bag. And they had a Branthwaite sent off after, 12 minutes in the first game. So no chance of a clean sheet there. And in the second game, they were 2-0 down at half time. So that was the end of my my gamble on my free hit in 37, which was a triple Everton defence.
Yeah, I mean, it looked, if it'd come off, would have been great. Yeah, but it was a risky one. Like I think, like I said to you at the time, it wasn't as good as the previous season when you tripled Chelsea.
2 years ago, 2-3 seasons ago, when I did Chelsea at home to Norwich.
Yeah.
But then if I'd saved my free hit for 38, I might have gone triple Chelsea defence against Watford, and that wouldn't have paid off either.
No. But that's been Chelsea all season, isn't it? Very frustrating to own their players. Definitely.
Apart from Rudiger, maybe.
Yeah, I did have Rudiger for a bit. He wasn't too bad. Yeah. And I mean, I had Havertz for a little while. He did me okay-ish. But no. It was just too difficult with Chelsea. You don't know who's going to play. There's a lot of rotation, just random drop-ins of players and stuff like that. So, Yeah, I enjoyed that bit around December when they disappeared for the Club World Cup, and we didn't have to pick a Chelsea player for like 3 game weeks. That was heaven, absolute heaven. So yeah, and I think from that point, I don't think I didn't really go that close to Chelsea. A few players, Alonso I brought in, and I might have brought Rudiger back, but
Mason Mount.
Mount, yeah. But yeah. But yeah, that's how we finished in the mini league. Anything else to add to that?
No, I went out the cup at the first time of asking. Apart from when I got a buy.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I think we all got a buy, but yeah.
I don't think I actually won a round of the cup.
I mean, in the I forget when like the overall and the English Cup starts, but we all kind of did the same in those. Yeah, roughly.
Game week 18, I think, or 19.
You went out game week 20 in the overall, and you went out game week 19 in the England Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much as soon as it kicked off.
Out, which is so frustrating.
Which is pretty much happens every season, so I don't really care about the cup.
No. I have gone fairly far in like the overall one before. To the point I got a little bit excited, but yeah. But it's so much luck in the cup. It just all depends on who you come up against and stuff like that. So yeah. But it's all fun. It's all fun. I've already moved on. I was gonna say, I'll move on now. So yeah, getting into it, our statistics for the season. So where did I pull these spreadsheets from? Can't remember now. This from
you
Live
pulled
FPL,
them-
isn't it?
Live FPL, live.fpl.
Yeah. So yeah, from Live FPL, put your team number in, and you get a spreadsheet that gives you all your stats for the year. So these are our stats that come out. Well, we mentioned previously about the green arrows. So yeah, Mike, you only got 17 green arrows.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
Less than half.
But you see, it does correlate to position. I mean, Gaz got the most green arrows out of all of us, which is 24, and I got 22.
That's weird. I was the not the worst, but I was the lowest rank, but yet I got more green arrows, which is weird.
Yeah, but
like really bad, really good, really bad. Like
like I said, it all depends on position. So like if you start the first game week like really badly, not that we all did this year, but if you're quite low down, then really from there on, as long as you do steady, you're going to keep going up and up and up. And yeah, I mean, you could get like 38 green arrows and still only be like.
Gaz got 66% green arrows for game weeks.
Yeah.
2/3.
That's surprising. That I didn't think it was that many. Yeah. There might have been quite small green arrows though. I think most of them were quite small green arrows. I don't think they were major rank games.
No. But
yeah,
it's more of a feel good thing, isn't it? When you see a green arrow, it makes you feel a little bit better about your week.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, transfers was an interesting one. We got the feeling you weren't being that aggressive this year, Gaz. So you only did 51 transfers and took -80 in hits.
Yeah, I don't think I did as many rage transfers this season.
No,
we did a few. The hits were more where for like double game weeks and things like that, where I just tried to get as many doubles in, or like COVID, or if you got like injuries and COVID, then you kind of had to do something about it. So I think it was always going to be more transfers this season because of COVID and stuff.
Yeah, it certainly forced our hand a little bit this year, didn't it? That's for sure.
Injury. Players get injured and then come back from injury and then getting injured again. There was a few of that as well.
Yeah.
Bamford, Calvert-Lewin hardly played all season.
Yeah, there's a lot of players like that, kind of just missing. But yeah,
There's a lot.
Yeah, me and Mike were very close on the transfers. I did one more than you with 60, and took an extra -4 on mine.
I took a significant amount of hits in the last 6 game weeks. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you went a bit rogue. And
I knew the season was gone.
Yeah,
I didn't concede until 4 weeks till the end, but within the last 6-7 weeks, I started taking hits like -8s all the time, if not -12s.
yeah.
Some paid off, some didn't.
Still didn't catch me though.
No,
I'm glad
not.
I've kept that record, because I completely smashed it last year as well. In terms of that, not that it paid off much for me last year, but
I mean, my captaincy points were an issue this season. I didn't get anywhere near as enough captaincy points as I should have. You can tell, for example, that the highest points scorers for both of you is Salah.
Well, you say that. I mean, we both got the same captaincy points.
We did, but in terms of if I'd followed yours and Gaz's with captaining Salah,
yeah.
If I'd followed you, I would have got 40 more. If I followed Gaz, I would have got 22 more. Yeah. So that would have been, 40 captaincy points is fairly significant. That puts me well into the top 100k. Just those extra 40 points.
I mean, 714 for both of us seems pretty good, really.
It's okay. There were some weeks where mistakes were made. Captaining Salah against Leicester when he missed the penalty and got 0.
I want to work out what the average for that is.
The average.
What, captain points?
About 18 points per game week. 714.
Yeah, 18 3/4.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, no. By any measure, that's not bad. But if you bear in mind that we're still where we are rank-wise, it means you have to get your captains nailed dead on to get into the top 50, top 25, top 10, top 5, top 1k.
Yeah. I mean, Gaz, yours about 16.
Yeah.
16.
I think what it was, I think everyone's captain points were probably very similar up to about game week.
When Salah went to AFCON.
After Salah went to AFCON, the second half of the season, Salah didn't get nearly as many points as he did the first half of the season. He dropped off towards the end.
Yeah.
And where he wasn't available, obviously you were going for someone else as captain, and it just wasn't paying off at all.
No, it made it a lot harder when he disappeared and wasn't an option anymore.
You mean it went back to being normal FPL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where, where seasons were defined, I think, where if you had the right captain, then fine. But if you chose the wrong captain, I think pretty much every week after Salah went, I picked the wrong captain pretty much. More often than not. There was more times I picked the wrong captain than the right captain, put it that way.
It is such a massive part of it. The captaincy pick does make such a difference. Yeah.
I actually picked up more captaincy points in the second half of the season as opposed to the first.
Oh.
Because I didn't captain Salah in the first half at certain points.
Yes. Did you? Yeah, you. Was it this year you missed out on the one where you captain
Game week
Havertz?
9. Game week 9.
9, yeah.
Salah
United.
got 3 goals and an assist against Manchester United away, which hadn't been done against Man United, I think, ever. And I had captained Havertz, who had Norwich at home.
Oh well, we can.
Uh,
Yeah, game week
Chelsea beat
9.
Norwich 7-0.
There's your game week 9 on
Yeah,
the screen.
Chelsea beat Norwich 7-0, and the only man not to get a return in the whole team was Kai Havertz.
Oh God, yeah.
Every defender got a return, where it was a clean sheet. James and Chilwell got goals. Mount got a hat trick. All of the other midfielders got assists and clean sheet points. All Havertz got for playing up front for nearly the whole game was 3 points. And if I'd captained Salah, that's it. That's 21 points just there alone.
Yeah, he got 24 points that week.
And bearing in mind, I got 88 that week already. That would have put me well into 100. I would have, leapfrogged into. I think I was at that point in the top. Let's have a look. I let myself down really badly by not captaining. I knew Norwich was bad. Norwich were really bad at that point because Dean Smith hadn't joined yet, and they were just shipping goals for fun. And I was like, yeah, Chelsea are going to absolutely ruin them. And I was excited. And my overall rank going into game week 9 was 18k. And then coming out of game week 9, I was at 50k because of Salah and only Salah. He destroyed my rank. I lost 30,000 places, and then I got several more red arrows after that because I couldn't recover because it blew my decision making and my ability to trust my decision making. It didn't help as well that from game week 8, 7 or 8, especially with wild cards, I went for double Man City defense. Many people went for James and Rudiger or James and Chilwell. And for about 4 weeks, Chilwell got double figures, scored every game for like 3 games.
Yeah.
And then he got injured.
And then he got injured, yeah. But if you had him and you had Reece James and Chilwell, you got like 54 points a week just from those two alone every week.
Yeah.
So my rank just tumbled, even though, as you can see, that was like only Martinez's only hauls in 20 weeks. Because I'm sure he saved a penalty. I had Foden, who hardly anyone had, and I still lost 30,000 points in rank. Even though I've got
it's still a good final score, 88 points.
It's good, but
you did, like you said, Foden.
Yeah,
Martinez
in the context
saving
of
a penalty.
18,000 in the world, it wasn't good because everyone else at that rank had captain Salah. That's where my decline began.
Who was Liverpool playing that week?
Manchester United away.
Oh yeah, what's one?
They absolutely destroyed United.
Yeah.
That's what I think cost Solskjaer's job. He even went before that or after that, just after.
On paper, you're looking at that thinking, oh well, that's a tough game. Yeah.
That's the only that's the only decision I can say that it's just bad luck.
Yeah.
You can't if Liverpool had been playing Norwich and Chelsea had been playing United and I'd captain Havertz, you'd go, well, of course, you're a moron. But because that's the harder fixture, and Chelsea were playing at home against an absolutely abject Norwich side, you're like, and you knew Kai Havertz was playing up front. It seemed like a good gamble.
Yeah, I think I brought him in for that week, but yeah, I didn't captain him. I don't have enough that faith in Havertz to do that.
It's just I knew he was playing up front. If it was, if he'd been playing in the centre of midfield or as an attacking midfield with Mount, and I had to choose between the two on that basis alone, I would have picked Mount.
Yeah.
And then Mount got a hat trick in that game. Wouldn't have mattered if I had captain Salah. I would have had Mount, Foden, and Salah. So I would have been on like 130, 140 points.
Yeah, you can't argue the reasoning. It was a good gamble to go for. So
yes,
can't really.
That was bad luck, and then one bad decision meant that I second guessed myself from then on in, and I made some terrible decisions, which we'll get to in the near future.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not worried. I'm sure your three's season-defining moments, all of yours are
Cool.
mostly positive, whereas mine are not. Mine are all negative ones.
I've got 2 positives and 1 negative. Gaz, I think you've actually I don't know with yours, Gaz. So maybe we want to talk through your defining game weeks.
There are 2 negative and 1 in between. It
One
was
in
good and
between.
bad at the same time.
Okay. Well, game week 13 then. I'm guessing
Game
that's
week
a bad
13.
one, but I don't know why.
Game week 13 was when I had decided to go triple Chelsea defence.
Ah, yes.
And
That
we
makes
kept
sense.
1 clean sheet in about 10 game weeks.
Yeah.
Chelsea kept 1 clean sheet from game week 13 to 22.
Yeah,
And that was when they went to
AFCON,
Club World Cup after that.
Club World Cup. So yeah, that was definitely the first major turning point of my season where I went, because up to that point they were doing really well. There was defenders were scoring goals. Mendy was keeping clean sheets. I think he was the top scoring goalkeeper at the time when I put him in. He was running away with it points wise. So yeah, I would just got on the bandwagon way too late, and from that moment on, they were rubbish and conceded loads of late goals. Rudiger was the only one who was kind of worked because he was scoring.
He was scoring, weren't he? Yeah.
But yeah, putting James in and Mendy was the turning point, and I didn't really recover from that.
Yeah,
because once I'd done it, it was too late, and I was, their fixtures were good as well, and it didn't go very well. So yeah, from game week 13 to about game week, until they went to the Club World Cup, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't good.
I think by that point, I think you probably used your wild card or something like that, and you changed it.
Yeah, I used my wild card game week 4 and game week 22.
Okay, yeah.
So that was for me.
It's one of those things. It's one of the big gambles. I think going double or triple defense is quite a good strategy. But yeah,
if I picked City,
it's a gamble, and
defender, then it would have been a completely different story.
Yeah. Whereas, I mean, last season it paid off for you quite well because weren't you triple Liverpool?
I did, yeah,
and that worked. That worked really well.
Season. Yeah. I think that was the season before. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that one game week 13, triple Chelsea.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
And yeah, like you said, at the time they were keeping clean sheets easily. It made sense.
Chilwell got injured. he was doing me well. Then he got injured, so I thought I'll go. I had Chilwell. I think I had Rudiger and Chilwell already, and then I went to James, and then I changed my keeper from Raya, who also got injured.
Oh yeah.
So I had a lot of injuries at round about that point. Triple Chelsea, because they was, doing really well, keeping clean sheets, and then it all went wrong from there. So,
interesting fact though,
bloody Chelsea
season was gone.
Game week 13, Gaz got a green arrow and jumped 200,000 places in rank.
Oh wow, there you go.
And from those 10 weeks for Chelsea, Gaz got five green arrows, and he gained more rank than he lost.
Yeah, I don't think it was because of the Chelsea players though.
No, it's just obviously when you look at it in reflection of that, it can be kind of. I mean, the one thing that did blow you with Chelsea is in game week 12 you got 80 points, and your Chelsea defenders were Mendy, Rudiger, and Chilwell. So from them alone, you got 29 points, and then that was when Chilwell got injured a couple of days later. So you had to switch Chilwell, and you decided to stick with triple Chelsea. And yeah, you got a couple of red arrows in 14 and 15, but then you were back to green arrows again and jumping up a couple of 100,000 places here and there.
I think it was just more of the fact that they were conceding lots of late goals as well, which was annoying.
Yeah, there was that. I mean, and there was
But there was a clean sheet, get like nailed on, and then they'll just give away a silly.
yeah. See, so Rudiger through that period for you was still scoring quite a lot of points because he was getting goals or assists. I mean, there was one game where he got 2 assists, he won 2 penalties, but yeah, you had Reece James who got 0 points, like against Leeds when Chelsea beat Leeds 3-2.
I think James 0 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, James only does zeros or 17. He doesn't really do in between.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Cancelo. I should have gone Cancelo, and I didn't. I got Cancelo in game week 18, but by that point it was a bit too late. He'd already done the damage. He still obviously got me loads of points for the rest of the season, but
yeah, I mean, this was still like the Steve Bruce era. So you'd gambled in game week 16 on Jamie Vardy, and he didn't play a single minute. So you got Manquillo off the bench, who got -1 against Leicester. So
yeah,
those are the sorts of decisions where the Chelsea didn't really matter. You still got 11 points from 3 players, and you had Conor Gallagher and Dennis who got huge scores, Rafinha who got a decent score, but because the one expensive premium in Vardy didn't play, you
I
got
put
someone off the bench.
Game week 12, I think. Against Arsenal, and he didn't. First time he's not returned against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Game week 12, he played Chelsea, got 2. Then he 13, he played Watford, he got 12. 14, Southampton, got 2. 15 against Villa, he only played 25 minutes, and then he didn't play game week 16 to 19.
Yeah, he got injured.
And then he only played against Liverpool in game week 20, and then he didn't play again for like another 7-week stretch.
Yeah, I must have got him in before that in game week 11, possibly.
That's in when you look at Weiner or more in depth, the Chelsea players were possibly bad that you had triple of them, but players like Jamie Vardy were 10.5 million and it tied up half your budget or a significant portion of your budget, I should say, in one player who wasn't even getting a single minute on the pitch. And then you'd get in really cheap, horrible options off the bench like Manquillo or Bazuma.
Yeah.
Curse of the striker, that is.
Yeah, my striker picks did not go well until I put Harry Kane in. We'll get to that later.
But I mean, Russ could probably move on to your next one because he couldn't figure out what your.
No. Oh, I could see the score's quite bad for this week, but I'm sure there's a story behind it. Maybe.
Oh, is this mine still?
It is. Yeah.
Game week 20. One of my biggest rank losses. Captain Salah against Leicester, and they missed a penalty.
Yeah, you lost 80,000 places that week. I captain Salah that week as well for 0. That was fun.
Did I captain Salah that week? What week was it?
That was his first week back from AFCON. I don't think you even owned him.
Maybe not, yeah. I remember sweating on it, and I remember being quite happy that he did miss that penalty, so I'm pretty sure I didn't captain it. I might not have had him either. No, I did not. Yeah.
There you go.
I played Jota, Mount, Bernardo, and Son, who didn't do that great, but yeah.
Did better than Salah, who got 0, who me and Gaz both captained.
Yeah, and I captained Trent. But yeah, I only got 47 points in game week 20. It wasn't a great week for me.
Me and Gaz got exactly the same, which was 30, a flat 30. Although I took a -8, so I got 22.
I did get a green arrow in 20, so yeah, it clearly wasn't a good week for many people.
It was an absolute shitter.
Yeah, that was not good game week.
Yeah, but you couldn't be too harsh on Salah because he'd got loads of points up till that point, really. So
Yeah, very.
but
That's
yeah,
the turning point, I think, when Salah started to not do as well.
yeah. So that was the week he'd come back.
Yes,
Ah, okay. Yeah.
I think he'd come back. He'd come back, and obviously there was a big thing about would he play, wouldn't he play, and then Klopp said, "Oh, he's definitely going to play."
Yeah.
So a lot of people went out and bought him, or people that held him played him, and yeah, he was the overwhelming favourite for captaincy because Leicester, if you remember back then, were shipping goals for fun and terrible at the back.
Yep.
And Liverpool were at home, so it just seemed like the obvious choice. And I thought, well, I'm not making the same mistake like I did a couple of weeks back when I captained Havertz, and then 0 points ensued. And I think he was owned. These captaincy stats was ridiculous. He was owned by like half the game for captaincy. So even if you had just one random midfielder who only got like 5 points, that was still 5 points gained because no one else, most people blew their captaincy as well as owning Salah.
Yeah, well, that was definitely around the time when everyone was captaining Salah. If you had Salah, you put the armband on him, didn't you? So yeah, and
Fun.
I think I just couldn't get to him. I think I gambled on it, and I got lucky in a way. Because if he'd scored that penalty, different story. He might have gone on and got another one, and
Well, even if he only just scored that penalty, that's 6 points, 8 total because he played the full 90, maybe 1 or 2 bonus. That's anything between, say, 12 and 16 points.
Yeah.
Which is 16 me and Gaz didn't have, and which everyone else that captained him would have got as well. So you're looking at, instead of it being an incredibly low scoring game week where the average was under 30, being an average being closer to 50, and then you would have got a red arrow.
Yeah.
And so would Gaz. Still probably. But there you go. That's one of those small minor variances, I guess, in terms of captaincy. And it wasn't even a bad pick for captaincy because, Leicester were bad defensively, were very poor against, facing corners. And Salah even won a penalty. I mean, how much better could it get?
Yeah.
He had so many chances that game as well. I think he hit the post once or twice. I think he just knew after he missed the penalty, it's not going to happen today. And it didn't. So I guess 0 points in the end was at least nice enough that it wasn't a minus. That's the only positive thing you can say.
Yeah, minus on a captaincy. That's never fun.
Yeah, that's Manuel Dennis in game week 20 something for you, Russ.
Yeah, that is one of mine. Game week 23. That is.
It might be.
Yeah, we could have a look at that. I did skip ahead, but now I'm jumping about. But yeah, game week 23 for me was it was a double for Watford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
It's the second.
He got sent off in the first game.
yeah, it was great.
Double yellow card. That's why it was a higher minus as well.
Yeah,
If I remember rightly, the fixtures were Watford and Everton.
with doubles.
Watford, sorry, they played Everton and Burnley, I think it was.
Yeah. On paper they looked like a good fixture. Dennis had been, in quite good form, scoring goals. So I mean, a lot of people went for it, didn't they? They either went for Dennis or King. And
they played. Watford's first game was Norwich.
Oh, it was Norwich.
Then Burnley. They lost at home to Norwich 3-0.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Manuel Dennis 2 yellows sent off. Josh Sargent got 2 goals in that game.
Yeah,
which is the only goals he got all season.
And it's awful. It's a double game week. You've captained someone, and then for them to get sent off in the first game, it just ruins your game week because you're just like, oh, well, great. And you've got to wait like ages until you can get it out of your system.
I'm pretty sure that was Ranieri's last game. So he was gone after that loss. And then obviously the next game was like 2 weeks away.
Yeah, I remember because Foster got COVID in the first game, so Backman played, but then
I had Foster in
Nick-
goal as well, so yeah, it was bad.
So we got a clean sheet, which was actually quite good.
Yeah.
Because
Lovely 0-0 draw away to Burnley.
yeah, so there's good and bad. Because I think I had him come off my bench with 6 points. So
Right. Yeah.
Dennis and
I think-
King were two of the most bought players for that game week.
Yeah. Did you captain King? I feel like you
I
had King and
captain
captain
King,
King.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got 6 points, which
Yeah.
is, I guess, a lot better than whatever you got, -2.
-2. Yeah.
But I also had Calvert-Lewin in my team at that point as a gamble.
Yeah.
And Alonso.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
That is a
it
shame.
would. What did I get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got
luckily,
29 points that week.
yeah, luckily it wasn't that bad in the end. It started off and it looked like, oh god, terrible. Dennis has got sent off. That's -2. But luckily it was one of those game weeks where no one really did that well.
No, the engaged managers, the ones that hadn't given up by then, that were taking the game sort of semi addicted, I guess, or I don't know the best way to say, like hardcore players, I guess.
Yeah.
They all had some form of Watford player, if not two.
Yeah.
I only lost 10,000 places. I went from 60k to 70k, and I only scored 29 points. So that's how bad of a game week it was. It was spread out over nearly 3 weeks as well. The first game started on the 21st of January, and then it ended on the 5th of February.
Oh god, yeah, that's what I mean. It was a long one as well.
It's a long, arduous one,
yeah.
and obviously the people that had picked Dennis had to just suck it up and take it.
That was part of the solace to it, was the fact that a lot of people had done it. I weren't alone in going, oh,
no, Dennis
let's
was one of the
captain
most
Dennis.
captain players.
Yeah.
Because everyone saw that Norwich fixture and thought, Watford have been banging in goals for fun. They can't defend for anything, but Dennis and King are going to run right against Norwich. And no. It's the only game we saw Man United kept a clean sheet for God knows how long. Beating us down 1-0.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Good, didn't it?
Chelsea kept their first clean sheet in months as well, because they beat Tottenham 2-0.
Ah.
Yeah, I got 30. I got 37 that week. I vice captain Dennis. My biggest, one of my biggest players was Sissoko, who got an assist. 5 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had Kane and Lucas Moore on my bench.
Ah, what did they get?
2 and 1.
To play Chelsea.
Oh yeah. And yeah, Chelsea got a clean sheet. So when did you get rid of your Chelsea defenders as well? The week before.
For me?
Yeah.
Game week
His wild card.
Wild card. I put in Diaz and
Cancelo?
No, Gas never had double city defence.
Cancelo 18, game week 18.
Oh, you put Luke Shaw in?
No.
Oh, I thought you said Luke Shaw for some reason.
No. Oh.
Nah.
I went for Sarr for Mendy and Diaz for James, who was in.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Chelsea kept a clean sheet.
Yeah.
It's fun, isn't it?
And Man City didn't.
No.
They drew 1-1 with Southampton.
How annoying. How annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think we've both got the next one.
Yeah, game week 26. So I had jigged it about and then we got moved on. So we all had quite a good week in game week 26. So it was quite a defining week for all of us, I guess. Yeah. And did we all use a chip? Yeah. We all played a chip this week.
Yes.
Me and Mike triple captained Salah, which got a monster haul of 84 points. But I mean, really, we were outdone by you guys, who used your bench boost and managed to keep pace with that with superstars like Brownhill and Sissoko.
Yeah, it could have been much better though. because I put Tarkovsky in,
Mm.
who had a double,
Yep.
but he got COVID.
Oh,
he didn't
yeah.
And Burnley kept 2 clean sheets.
Yeah, that is true.
Ben Mee got like 20-something points that week.
He scored, that's why.
Wow.
It could have been so much better than it was. So it's for me, that was a good and bad week
Yeah.
at the same, because I was gonna go for Ben Mee, or I think Eric Peters was the other one that I was gonna go for. But I went for Tarkovsky because I had enough money, and that was just bad luck. He got COVID. So yeah, that was a good and bad week for me.
Yeah. I think if you look on the positive side though, it was the fact that you'd such a successful bench boost. They're hard to kind of get right. So to actually get that, and then unlike a lot of people who did triple captain Salah, okay, everyone who did really well, but you still had the triple captain, so you had that potential of you could use it somewhere, and you might obviously do really well with it. So I don't think you did too bad, did you?
No, the triple captain, I've used it in game week 33, I think. And yeah, Salah's, I thought it was the game that he got injured against Brighton and he didn't play the second game, which was Arsenal. Or he for like the last bit.
That's annoying.
So yeah, that didn't go well too. Didn't go.
He did score
well.
though, didn't he?
He scored a penalty against Brighton and injured himself while taking it away.
Yeah.
Which meant he didn't start against Arsenal. So
yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of that. A lot of the double game weeks. They only did well for me for one of the fixtures, and not the story of obviously apart from that game week, Sissoko scored and got an assist, I think, in the other game, and then
I remember it being ridiculous because I think me and Mike probably looked at that bench and thought, well, that's not very good. You're not going to get much out of that. And then Sissoko went and scored like the first time in ages.
3 years or something.
Yeah, and Brownhill. Did Brownhill get a couple of goals? Something.
He scored 2.
Yeah.
In one game, I think.
Brownhill got an assist against Tottenham. Burnley beat Tottenham at home 1-0.
Oh yeah.
And Josh Brownhill got 1 goal against Brighton when Burnley won away 3-0 from home. He got 2 bonus in that one as well. Brownhill walked away with 3 bonus as well as a goal and assist.
Wow.
And Watford, obviously, Sissoko didn't get anything in the first game. Watford won away from home 1-0. So he got a clean sheet, 3 points. And then Watford lost 4-1 at home to Crystal Palace. Sissoko scored.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Weird one. It was a weird game week all round, I think. Good for a lot of people because obviously a triple captain. I went a different route, bench boost, and matched it.
Yeah. Well, matched it. I mean, you got the top score out of all of us. You did take a -12, so
yeah.
So yeah.
But my overall rank gain was quite a big green arrow there.
Yeah.
Whereas because you guys had Salah triple captain, which a lot of other people did, your rank gain wasn't as big.
No. Yeah, I mean, you were 118,000, mine and Mike's 26 and 38
it all
for
depends
me.
where you're placed rank-wise as well, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you were.
If I was at Gaz's rank and I got my score...
Well, you were 71k at that point, and I was 179. So yeah.
There you go.
And Gaz was 488 at that point. Okay. Yeah.
It's one of the weird weeks where Lacazette was good, Fernandes was good. I was slightly disappointed that I didn't have a third Liverpool player. Really, if I'd had Mane instead of Fernandes, I could have come out even higher. I just didn't want to take more than a -4 because I was fairly confident in what I had.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
And
Was it a
in
big?
the end,
It must have been a big double that week then as well.
there was 1, 2, 3, 4 double
Okay.
games.
So it wasn't a huge one, but
No, Liverpool played at home twice against Norwich and Leeds, and they scored 9 goals.
yeah.
So, I mean, Mane was just as effective as Salah. Like in the second game, Salah got 2 and an assist. Mane got 2 and an assist.
Yeah.
And then they were basically same for same in the first game as well, 1 goal each.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for Liverpool, it was such a good double.
Arsenal picked up 2 wins, 2-1 both times, which was great because most people at that point had Arsenal defenders and goalkeepers, not Arsenal midfielders and strikers.
Me, I had Tierney who got me 4 points.
I had Lacazette who got me double figures.
Yeah.
Any else?
And Saka.
Yes, I had Saka as well. I had Saka from early on. I like having Saka in my team. I won't be able to next season; it'll be too expensive. But
yeah, I mean Saka was my rank killer.
yes,
Which was yeah.
Well, he started gaining popularity around then because Arsenal had a double.
I think I might have had him in at some point, like maybe on a free hit or something. But yeah, because I tend to avoid Arsenal players.
Yeah.
It was an odd game week 26 because if you bear in mind, Burnley won twice and kept 2 clean sheets. Liverpool scored 9 goals at home and beat a lot of players. And Salah was quite significantly triple captain, but the people that didn't suffered huge rank drops. Tottenham beat Manchester City 3-2, and then went and lost to Burnley a couple of days later.
Oh yeah.
And then there weren't a lot of clean sheets going around. I mean, literally the best teams for clean sheets was Burnley got 2 clean sheets, Watford got a clean sheet, Southampton and Liverpool once, and that is it. Not a single clean sheet elsewhere with all the other major teams.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for once we all didn't really get that much point in defence apart from you having Pope.
Yes, I had that. I only owned Pope for 2 weeks. I owned him for that week and then the week after, and he didn't get less than about 6 points.
Yeah. Burnley had a couple of good doubles, and then it tricked everyone into going, "Oh yeah, Burnley's good," and then their next double, and they did rubbish. But
the world with Burnley, unfortunately. But you could always predict which teams would be good and which teams would be bad. It was just how much you wanted to gamble in that sense. And in certain players you did gamble on were just not great. Like I think Man United beat Leeds, but I don't think Ronaldo played that game.
Yeah, I
so
feel like there was
that's why Fernandes was further forward. Sancho and Fernandes did really well in that game. That's why I got quite a lot of points from Fernandes.
Yeah.
And Leeds were obviously really bad. I mean, Leeds conceded 10 goals in 2 games. That's where the decline really started for them. I mean, they'd been bad defensively already, but they just fell off a cliff after that. Bielsa didn't last much longer.
No. I thought they just conceding for fun, weren't they?
Yep. So, yeah, a unique game week, but the fact that guys kept pace with 2 players that hadn't scored in over a year. I mean, Brownhill had never scored in the Premier League, and Sissoko literally hadn't scored in well over a year for Tottenham.
Yep. So pretty amazing. I doubt you're going to struggle to outdo that. That's
In terms of bench boosting that and thinking you'd keep anywhere near to Salah, who got essentially 2 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah.
Or sorry, 3 goals and an assist, and he got 84 points for triple captainers, and somehow you managed to keep pace with that.
Yeah. Obviously, Gaz captain Salah, so he got 56 points there.
Yeah, he got 56, but still, you got to make up, like, what's that, 28 points?
Yeah, something like that.
That's still a lot. You know?
Yeah.
I'm bearing in mind my bench boost, I think I got like 11.
Yeah, mine wasn't great. So
to get that from just Brownhill
and
then get a clean sheet from Foster, even though Watford hadn't kept a clean sheet all season, and I don't think they kept another one after that. And then, as much as Thingy, Tarkowski played one of the games, I think, because of the COVID situation.
Yeah.
Huh?
But yeah, Brownhill was in a way was one of my best.
He
Best
did great for
build.
you. There was definitely another week where you had him in, or he came off your bench and he scored another goal, didn't he?
Yeah. He as an interesting stat is, I think the link you sent me. He had 30. It was like 32 starts or something like that. He only returned 4 times, and I had him in my team for 3 out of those 4.
Yeah.
He got 10 one week, 12 another week. So
yeah, you seem to have a knack of picking him at his optimal time and benching him at the right time.
Yeah. I only got him in because he was 4-3.
Yeah, he definitely paid you back.
Yeah,
big time. So
I did all right as well.
Yeah,
weird game week, that one.
Yep.
Very weird.
Yeah, well, there's always one like it. But yeah, it was crazy.
There was more than one this season.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there was a few. There's too many to mention. But yeah. Oh, God. But yeah, we should probably move on and see another game week. I'm a little bit all over the place. I don't know where I am. So, I'll go on to one of yours, Mike. Did we talk about your game week 9?
Yes, we did.
Okay, we'll move on. What about your game week 25?
We did not.
The week before 26?
Yes, the week before.
All yours are bad, aren't they?
They're all bad, yes.
Yeah, such a negative Nelly, but go on.
It's not so much negative, it's just that these were defining moments that
well, surely you had a good defining moment.
Not really. I mean, you've just shown my best game week, and it wasn't really a standout. I didn't gain a significant amount of rank because the player I triple captained everyone had. I took a -4. So I got...
You said you were in the 100 club 3 times this year as well?
I was in game week 1.
So that's good. You could have gone game week 1. What start?
Yeah, game week 1 I got 102 points. Then I got 145 in game week 26, which we just talked about. And then in game week 36 I got 115. That was where I thought I was going to make a comeback because I had Sterling, and that was when De Bruyne got 4 goals.
So if you were being more positive, you could have gone game week 1. And
I could have gone game week 1. The problem with game week 1 was everyone sort of fairly did well. Yeah, I was ranked 250,000 after that, 102 points, because I had Salah captain, but Fernandes got a hat trick, and most people had Salah and Fernandes, or they captained Fernandes over Salah, so they got a couple extra points over me.
Yeah.
The only thing I did have that set me aside from almost everyone else was I had Benrahma and Antonio. And then I had Son and Ings for game week 1. So I scored a bucket load of points for fun. I also had Mason Greenwood, but less said about him, the better for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, game week 25 is one. I got a green arrow that week.
I mean, it don't look that bad, but
it doesn't look that bad. You look at it, you go, oh, that doesn't look that bad. Manchester United had a double. I got some clean sheet points. De Gea got quite a few points. I still had Calvert-Lewin.
They played Brighton that week, one of those.
Man United played Brighton on the Tuesday and won 2-0.
Yeah, I think I did quite well that week as well.
Yeah.
So
you picked the right captain. So,
well, you say that.
Game week 25, I got 76.
You say that, and you say that with an air of confidence. But I made
in your team, but yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I made 2 transfers before 25 started.
Okay.
I made a transfer that I didn't want to make, but I hastily made because I was worried about not having him. I bought in Ramsey for Gray because I didn't want double Everton, and I thought Ramsey was, would be a good enabler because he was only 4-5, 4-6 around then.
Yep.
So I bought in Ramsey for Villa, and then that gave me enough money to afford Mo Salah, who I then sold. I bought Salah in and sold Raheem Sterling, who got a hat trick against Norwich.
Yeah. Now I see. Now I see.
And at that point, Sterling was only owned by 0.2% of the game, which is about, 15,000 players? Less than that. I had Sterling every week leading up to that. I'd caught some serious returns from him. So yeah, I caught a 9-pointer in 24 against Brentford when City won 2-0 at home because Sterling got 2 assists and bonus, and I was fairly pleased about that. And I said to both of yous, he's going to start against Norwich because he didn't start in the Champions League. He's going to start. I've got to have him. He's going to start. And in every part of me, because of what had happened in game week 9, where I hadn't captained Salah and he'd absolutely destroyed me, I sold Sterling for Salah because I figured that was a smarter move to defend my rank. And what I really did there was I set a precedent for second guessing myself, and so I sold Sterling
Yeah,
for Salah.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say, did the whole Havertz not captain thing play a part in that? And yeah,
Played a
clearly it
major
did.
part. And if bearing in mind, Salah got 3 points.
Yeah.
Sterling got 18. I think he got 18. Let's have a check. So he got 18 points against Norwich. I would have captained him against Norwich because Norwich were poo bandito and Man City were running riot at that point. So I would have got 36 from Sterling. So
I mean, yeah,
that would have been an extra 33 points on top of my 72, which would have been 105, which would have absolutely rocketed me. And it would have, from that
What
point on.
did he not play the week before or something? Or what
No, he
was the
played the week
reason?
before. The reason I didn't buy him, the reason I sold him was because I didn't own Salah.
So it was FOMO.
So in fear of
FOMO.
missing out. In game week 24, I had Sterling and Fernandes, and Fernandes had played relatively poor. And that was Burnley away. But then I looked, and Man United had Southampton at home, who were conceding a lot of goals. So I was like, I'm keeping Fernandes. And I'm sure it's on the recording. I said to you, like, Sterling didn't play in the Champions League. I should keep him. He's definitely going to play in the league.
Yeah.
I said Norwich are bad. They'll beat Norwich easily. Sterling's going to, probably get 1 or 2. No, he got a hat trick. So it was a really, really bad decision. And what made that worse again, similar in vein, but to the Chelsea game in game week 9, my only Manchester City player I had was Cancelo, and he didn't play at all.
Yeah.
He'd been rested for the game. So I had nothing, no skin in that game whatsoever. But I did have Calvert-Lewin sitting on the pitch again because I'm a moron.
Yay.
And it's the same with game week 9. I got a green arrow, like I got I got a red arrow in game week 9, but I got a high score, so it looks fairly deceptive because you can look at that and go, oh, well, you got 70 points. I don't know what you're bitching about. Be like, no, but I'd second guessed myself, made the transfer because I was worried about missing out on Salah, and got what was a small green arrow would have been a significantly higher green arrow. I would have caught a couple of price rises for Sterling as well after he got that hat trick, and then I still would have sold him the following week after Norwich because that was the original plan.
Yeah.
And obviously, if I'd sold him the following week, that was 26, and I triple captain Salah. So if I'd done that and then that, I would have looked like an absolute genius to go from Sterling on a 36 pointer to a Salah to an 84. That's riding your own sort of, trusting your own instinct and riding that wave of good fortune. But it wasn't to be. So that cost me a lot down the left. It cost me 33 points essentially. And bearing in mind, I'd already lost 24 points from Salah in game week 9. So there you're looking at 57 points, which is that's a significant amount. That's basically me and you neck and neck. Then I'm in the top 100k.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how bad one bad decision in game week 9. Well, just rephrase that. Not a bad one. Unlucky decision where a captaincy pick went wrong and you didn't get any returns, even though they beat Norwich 7-0. Influences how you think later on down the line. And again, the team was Norwich.
Yeah.
And I transferred out a player against Norwich.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about them next year.
No, I'm hoping there is a team that I'll try, hopefully, fingers crossed, that something doesn't dent my instincts early on. Like Salah goes and gets like 4 goals against Man City or something, and I didn't captain him. But even then, I'll have to convince myself not to make that bad decision, because I did it last year as well. I kept playing hokey cokey with Salah and Fernandez, so I was taking -4s to switch them about, and then I'd miss their hauls both times.
Yeah.
Just to take them -4s. And then this season, I was worried about him doing really well, so I brought him in, and then I missed the hauls from my major differentials. So yeah,
Well, he was tough to not have.
he was tough to not have, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I already knew how bad Norwich was. I should have absolutely trusted my own instincts and just stuck with Sterling.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because if you
Against Norwich, and like you said, he hadn't played in the
18
Champions
points.
League. He was
didn't
most
play
likely going to
Champions League.
play.
He got rested. I knew he would play because he scored against Brentford. Sorry, he got 2 assists against Brentford the week before. I knew he would play.
Yeah, I can't.
And then I already
I can't
planned.
defend it. It's I mean,
it's a decision that was influenced because of what happened to me in game week 9.
It was a mistake. Yeah,
That's a mistake.
yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
And there were points in the season where I did trust my instincts. As we said, one of the games where I did get into the 100 club near the end of the season. Who did I have in my team? I had Raheem Sterling, who got 28 points.
Yeah.
When everyone else sold it.
But then you never know. It could have gone the other way. You could have kept Sterling and Pep Guardiola benches him for the Norwich game, and he gets 0 or 1 because he comes on in like the 90th minute or something. And Salah went and hauled. And
yeah, but it was Norwich.
And you could have been looking like a genius that way, or yeah.
But again, it was Norwich. I should have just. It's my own fault. Yeah. Game week 9, that's bad luck because I captained Havertz and he didn't get anything in a 7-0 win. But this game week 25, I sold him a week early, even though I knew he'd been rested in the Champions League, and I should have kept him. So that's why that's a bad game week, even though it's a green arrow. And then, of course, after I made this mistake, that was it. My decision making was shot to bits. I made too many bad decisions.
Yeah. So what was 28?
Game week 28 was another bad decision.
It's a wild card.
Yeah. It was a wild card, yeah.
Was it a bad wild card then?
I went for double Southampton up front line that got nothing.
Yeah, that.
After they'd scored in every single home game since like September up to about this point, and then Broya fell off a cliff.
Yep.
Broya scored me 12 points over 10 game weeks in my starting lineup.
Yeah,
again,
that
it's
sounds familiar.
It looks like I've done really well.
Yeah, 73 points. That's pretty good.
I was going to captain Reece James because I said to you two that I'm sure he starts at least one of them, and Chelsea were in good form.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't captain him. I went for Salah again because I was worried about missing out. Got me nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Reece James obviously went and got all of his points in the first game in a 4-0 drubbing of Burnley. But then Chelsea's second game was Norwich. So I should have trusted my instincts, and I didn't.
Bloody Norwich.
And with the wild cards, if I'd played bench boost this week, which I had sort of mentioned I was considering doing, but I didn't. I figured I'd save my bench boost for later on, as I told you, because I had this whole working out in my head, and I think we both played bench boost in the same game week, which was
game week
33.
Yeah.
So I played the wild card in 28, and I was like, that's it. 5 weeks time, I'm going to play my bench boost in 33. Southampton have got doubles. A lot of the players I had in this team were going to have doubles. I mean, I was one of the only people who went for Schmeichel dead early in 28, and he saved a penalty. No, he didn't. He got a clean sheet and 3 bonuses. Leicester Kip to 1-0, beat Leeds 1-0. So if I'd played my bench boost and played my wild card the previous week, I would have got, what's that, 32 points.
What, 20?
32
yeah,
points.
32 points. Oof, ouch.
Which is the same sort of points Gaz got on his bench boost.
Yeah, yeah, that would have been a good bench.
Decision. Or even if I didn't play my bench boost, with this wild card, if I just started my Arsenal players over my 2 shitty Southampton players, I would have got 20 points.
Who was Southampton playing that week?
Southampton had a double, I believe. They had Aston Villa and Newcastle. They went away to Aston Villa and lost 4-0. And then they were home to Newcastle and lost 2-1.
Yeah, although Newcastle by that point were in good form, so you might not have expected anything. But
Southampton were at home.
Yeah, but I think Southampton at that point were in good form. Everyone was like, "Oh, Southampton are playing really well."
Southampton, before losing 4-0 to Aston Villa, had beat Norwich 2-0, Everton 2-0. They'd drawn 1-1 away against Man United. They beat Tottenham 3-2 away. They'd drawn Man City 1-0 at home. So they were in cracking form.
Yep. And then they went off a cliff.
Then they went off. They essentially fell to pieces.
Very similar to Gaz and the Chelsea players.
Yep. And I held on to both of those absolute shockers till game week 33, I'm pretty sure, because I wanted them both to play their double game week, which was, again...
And I don't think that went that well.
Erroneous. So game week 33, I got 92 points that week. I got a green arrow. I did play both of them, and combined Adams and Broyer in a double game week, 4 games each, got 4 points.
Awesome. Yeah, I've got a fear, but what did they? Broyer probably didn't play both of them.
No. Shea Adams only played 24 minutes out of the 2 games, got 1 point.
Oh, wow.
Broyer played both, but he got yellow carded in one and got nothing.
Nice.
And here's the fun fact: Southampton beat Arsenal 1-0 in that double game week, but neither of the strikers were involved in it. I think it was Ward-Prowse.
Ward-Prowse,
and in the second game, they lost 2-0 to Burnley. There you go.
Yeah.
And on my bench boost that week, I had Rudiger, who didn't play at all.
Yep.
So, and I captained. That was another week. I mean, honestly, I could have picked so many bad game weeks. Game week 33, when I bench boosted, I captained San Maximan because Newcastle had a double, which was Crystal Palace and Leicester, who both had bad defences.
It's fine. I can top that one because I captained Wood that week, didn't I?
Yeah. Well, I got 8 points. So I think you got a little less.
Yeah.
But Salah got 19 because they played Man United again. What did Salah go and do? He went and got 2 goals and an assist. So I made a lot of bad choices around captaincy and.
Oh, actually, I probably didn't captain Wood. I doubt I captained him that week. What week was that?
That's game week 28. Oh no, actually, I'm talking about 33. Game week 33 when I bench boosted Salah scoring.
Oh no, I did captain Wood because I did jump on the bandwagon of I might as well captain a double playing player. Yeah.
Of course, you got captain a double.
Yeah.
If I captained Fabian Schär, I would have got far more points.
Yep. Yeah, I had Schär as well. 9 points he got that week.
Yep.
So that would have been good.
I should have just captained Salah. I probably mentioned in that recording to use as well that I'm sure he'll do it to Man United again. Yeah. And I'll be sitting here holding my head in my hands, and I did. There you go. That's another 19 points lost.
Yeah, 33 was the week I bench boosted. I had Rudiger as well, 0. So all I got for my bench boost was 9 points.
I got 19.
Oh, so that's better. So.
a little better, but still not great.
Yeah.
I
Whereas-
got 10, and I didn't bench boost, and I got 10.
Yeah.
I captained Salah that week, and I also had Brownhill, got 13 points.
Ah, that was a Brownhill week.
The Brownhill week.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
But again,
When you've had a bad week, I've had a good week, and vice versa.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, like my decision making was bad. Like for 28, which is up on screen. I wanted in on the Wolves defense. I picked Kilman.
hmm
Max
Got injured.
Kilman played the first game. He got a yellow card. He went off. Wolves lost 2-0 to Palace. Didn't play the second game. Wolves won 4-0 because Kilman got rotated out. So I got nothing. If I'd gone Connor Cody, I would have got a lot more points over the 2.
Yeah.
It's another poor decision because I wasn't thinking straight. I mean, I could have or I should have started Lacazette or Saka over these double game weekers because Saka and Laka were playing Watford, and Watford couldn't buy a clean sheet. They couldn't even win at home, let alone buy a clean sheet.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lesson we probably should have learned this year. I think everyone has probably come across it that sometimes go for the single game weaker. They can outdo the double game weaker.
Yeah.
But you just get blinded. You see a double game week, think, oh yeah,
You get blinded. Like I said,
double the chance.
my
Yeah.
decisions were so shot by then, as I've just shown. Like in 4 game weeks, from game week 9 to 23 to 25 to 28, 4 decisions cost me nearly 100 captaincy points or just transfer points. And that's it. Once you start making decisions like that cost you significant points, you second guess, you make bad decisions, you don't follow what you know deep down. It's not like it weren't like just a captaincy problem with like Havertz playing Norwich and me captaining Salah. It was me going, let's sell Sterling against Norwich. Let's not play players against Norwich. Let's not play players against Watford because I'm chasing points. So I'm picking double game weekers. I picked Southampton players who were in good form that then suddenly weren't in good form anymore. So
I think
yeah,
sometimes that's where maybe you trip yourself up because which I guess you have to do, and sometimes it pays off. But you try and go for the differential because you think, I'm only going to make gains here if I go a bit different.
Yeah, but the problem
and
is
sometimes it pays off, but if it doesn't, then it's
but as we
bad.
just seen, game week 25, I had the best differential in the whole game.
Yeah,
the absolute pinnacle. I had him in my team and I sold him because I was worried about missing him Salah Hall.
Yeah,
and he got nothing.
Yeah.
So I went the opposite way this season and kept picking players that I was like, oh, well, they're highly owned or they're in form, they're good picks, and nothing. Not a single sausage, unfortunately. So that's why all mine are negative, because as you can see, it's a downward spiral. It's a downward spiral of poor decisions that resulted in me finishing 160k at the season's end, and you finishing inside the top 100, even though at points in this season I was in the top 20k.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember what game week it was, but we see it. 26, yeah. You were, up in the 70Ks. I was back in 170K. That was about 100K off you. And, Gaz was, 488K? So,
Yep.
Yeah.
So, poor decisions. Not trusting my own instincts and falling apart.
I don't think there probably wasn't that, in points-wise, there probably wasn't a huge difference at that point, I don't think. Because I think me and Gaz were fairly close, probably 20 points between us, and I'll probably have a look actually. Go back to it. 1643. Yeah, so only what's that?
That's at 50 points, 48
50 points. Yeah, which isn't huge.
No.
Yeah.
But that it all compounds to show you that that's how because my decision making was shot, I got the least green arrows out of all of this, because I kept making poor moves or poor choices. whether it was a fear of missing out on a highly owned player or whether it was selling a player that I knew was going to get something against a shit team, selling them too soon.
Mm.
So rest assured, next season I will not pick a Southampton attacker. Not for love or money.
Oh, they're on your list. So you've got a list
No,
now.
it's not a list. I'm not going through the hassle of having a Southampton attacker. They're as bad as Danny Ings. I used to avoid Danny Ings at Southampton because he used to be too streaky. And Gaz and you used to sign him, and you would hit hauls where you'd get like 15 points, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, well, of course you're going to pick him. Danny Ings was playing X team. And you're like, yeah, great. He gets 90 every week. But Shay Adams is nothing like Danny Ings. And Broyer, I imagine, won't be there next season. So, and it kind of feels like that's the scenario where everyone's getting with Mitrovic again. Mitrovic was terrible in the Premier League less than 2 years ago, and now because he got 42 goals in the Championship, people are like, "Oh yeah, well he's gonna outscore Haaland, isn't he?" And you're like, "No, he's not."
I doubt it.
So I probably won't have him in my game week 1 team either.
No.
But
I'll tell you what team. I'll tell you, Southampton is a team I avoid as well because they're frustrating as hell. But Wolves after this season is a team I don't really want to go near. Maybe a defender, but oh my god!
If you started with them, clean sheets wise, you were fantastic. You were laughing your way all the way to the bank. Gaz got so many points from Sarr.
Yeah.
Cody was great. Even towards the latter part of the season, they weren't keeping clean sheets, but Cody was scoring or getting assists. So fair enough. But I went for Max Kilman because I've listened to all the pundits, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he's the best man in that back three," and it was like, "Oh yeah, I'll follow that sort of advice." And then he wasn't.
Yep, I think I did similar. Either Kilman or was it Aït-Nouri?
Aït-Nouri is one that is unfortunate because he was battling with Marcel, but Marcel's leaving, or Marcal if you prefer, and Saiss has left now as well. His contract's expired, so
interesting.
There'll be a slight rebuild in the back line at Southampton. At Wolves, sorry. There will be at Southampton probably as well because they're losing a couple of players on a free, and obviously loan players are going back home. But yeah, so that's why my 3 seem like positives because in 2 of them I got, or in fact I might have got a green arrow in all 3 of them, but they were bad decisions.
But it could have been a lot better.
Could have been a lot better. It should have been a lot better, and then it affected how I made choices.
Fair enough.
But I think have we done all of Gaz's 3?
Yeah, I think so.
13, 20, 26. So yeah, we're up to 28 now. So yeah, Big Ross's.
Yeah. So mine. Yeah, and we've done this first one, 23. That was when Dennis got his -2 or -1.
Little red card.
Yeah, my second one. Obviously, I had 26 as well. So yeah, my last one is game week 36. It's more game week 35, 36. So yeah, this is what kind of it really did define my season. This one really, because as we see in game week 26, I was 50 points behind you, Mike, and down in like 179k. And I guess if we're talking about decisions, this decision or my wildcard went very well in game week 35. And
I mean, De Bruyne had never scored a hat trick in the Premier League. He hadn't scored a hat trick in 10 years.
Yeah.
The last team he did it for was Wolfsburg, I think it was. No, it'd be even further back, wouldn't it? So it'd be in Belgium.
Oh yeah.
Anderlecht.
No, he played for Ghent, wasn't it? Not Anderlecht.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, wild card in 35. I had obviously the last 4 or 5 game weeks kind of planned out, so I picked a team for that to attack it. And yeah, I mean the first game week 35, De Bruyne got 0 because he didn't play. So, and I captained him that week as well, and I can't remember who my vice was. So the first week didn't go that well, but then obviously luckily I stuck with it because I think I did debate it. But I think he didn't play in the Champions League. And so I thought, well, I might as well go for it.
He got substituted early.
Yeah.
And he come off after 70 minutes, and then Man City went to extra time and then lost to Real Madrid.
Yeah, and it was a double game, weren't it? 36 was quite a big double, I think.
36, yeah, Man City had 2 games, and
Yeah.
they could effectively tie off the league. And
Yeah,
De Bruyne didn't get a lot.
He didn't do great in the first game.
He got that 1 assist.
Got 1 assist.
For Sterling.
Yeah, and I was a little bit like, ugh, yeah. And then I worried maybe he won't play the next one. You never know. And but yeah, luckily he did. And yeah, I mean, yeah, 60 points. Yeah, completely changed my position. Like I said earlier when we were looking at a mini league, kind of like the top 6 were kind of fighting it out, but I was kind of behind the pack just a little bit, and this is what leapfrogged me into that second
everyone
position.
in the mini league in the top 10, and most of the people in the top 100,000 in the whole of the world, captain Salah.
Yeah.
So if you captained De Bruyne, not only did you have a differential, you had a man who got you 30 extra points over everyone else.
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like I didn't necessarily get the right captain all season, similar to you. Like, obviously, mostly it was captain in Salah, like everyone else. But yeah. What was I saying? I can't remember now. Can't remember what my point was going to be.
Captaincy picks. It's one you got right.
Yeah, basically, yeah. For once, it felt like I actually managed to get it right for once. Because normally, okay, I might have got a good one, but there's always one you miss out on. You think, oh, why didn't I captain them? Or yeah, but this one paid off, which was nice for a change.
Yeah.
So
and guess who I didn't captain again that week, and he got 28 points.
Sterling.
Yep.
Ah, yeah.
Captain Salah again, and he got 3. I could have captained Son, who got 20. I could have captained Nketiah, who got 15.
Yeah.
I could have captained Sterling, who got 28. I could have captained Cancelo, who got 14. Literally every other single player in my team scored more than Salah. Because my decision making had been shot by then, I didn't trust anything.
Well, I could put a negative spin on this because my bench has 30 points on it.
Yes.
I could have bench boosted this week.
Yeah.
And
although, admittedly, did Greenwood play and get anything for you? He didn't, did he? No.
0.
So you probably would have focused the transfer on having more money on your bench for this game week. Then it might have prevented you from getting De Bruyne.
Possibly, but I'd wild carded in 35, hadn't I? So this was the team I built.
Yes.
And because I'd used my bench boost, Greenwood was like the fodder.
Exactly.
The cheap fodder.
But if you hadn't have done that, you probably wouldn't have had Zaha, who was the only single game week you had.
Yeah.
Who got a good score. You would have downgraded him to a doubler.
Mm-hmm.
Who might not have got as good. To get another doubler who also might not have done as good.
Yeah, well, that's in a way that is why I bench boosted when I did, because I just wanted to kind of get it out of the way so I could just then go, right, I haven't got that anymore. I don't have to worry about it. And I can focus on building the team, my wild card that attacks the last few game weeks. And yeah, obviously I missed out on the 30 points there, but overall it was the right decision. So I'll take it. Yeah. I didn't realise Alonso actually got me a good points haul there for once.
Yes, he did. He did really good. He got he was one of Chelsea's main scorers, I think.
Yeah. Oh.
I think he got a clean sheet.
I feel bad that I'm going to pick him as one of my worst players, but there you go.
Right. At least we'll get to hear your reasoning.
Yeah. But yeah, we should probably move on and get to some of that. Now that we've gone through that. Okay, so team of the year. So actually, Gaz, you probably haven't seen this, but yeah, I pulled these out for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So these are our teams of the year by points.
Right. Yes. So you used a different website for these.
Yes.
You used FPLoptimize.com.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if you put your team number into that, you can see your highlights of the season, who your team of the year was by points. So in this instance, it's you started them and got their points. So your most effective formation as well, essentially. So you can kind of half see some of your good decisions, some of your poor decisions. So
Yeah.
in my case, I was quite bad around defenders for overall points. You know, I had 2 solid defenders who scored really well. But then
Rudiger.
my next, Rudiger only got 36 points from.
Yeah, wow.
Whereas Gaz got nearly 100 off of Rudiger, which is an
Yeah.
exceptional return.
But he got a lot less off. Well, not a
His
lot less, but he
midfield.
got a loss. He
Gaz
got
did
less
really
off
bad.
Trent.
Yeah.
Cancelo.
Or he's got Jota. I mean, Madison boosted him towards the end, but 51 is really poor for a whole season for a midfielder.
Yeah.
A midfield slot, I should say.
Brownhill got 49.
Yeah.
There you go. He was nearly in your team for the season.
In my best 11.
And you only started him like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
So
That's incredible.
and it kind of gives you with this, it gives you a view of decisions you did make that were correct and decisions that were poor. So holding Madison for as long as Gaz did was probably a really poor decision. Me not having any Chelsea defenders was probably a poor decision.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
in your
Rudiger.
case, you know, you got more than Gaz from Madison, and you're fairly averaged out in terms of your points. You actually did a lot better than me and Gaz for strikers.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gaz did really well with Kane because he captained him 4 times, but
Yeah.
you had Kane as well, and you had Antonio. Both of you had Antonio for a lot longer than I did, so I lost out on a significant amount of points there.
Yeah, it was the start of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah. I sold him after he got sent off. That was a bad choice.
I'm surprised. Actually, probably the captaincy done Gaz's because I think I stuck with Antonio longer, but I only captained him once, whereas Gaz captained him 3 times. So yeah.
I know one of those captaincies was against Norwich, and he got bugger all because I did it as well. Bowen outscored him by a country mile.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I captained him the week he got sent off.
Oh,
He
did
got
you? Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
But you can see how bad Reece James was in terms of picks. I got 27 points from him, and bearing in mind I got 18 of those points in one game week. Gaz only got 40 from him for the whole time he was in his team.
Yeah,
that's not great.
No,
didn't even make my squad. I'm pretty sure I did have him at one point.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
he was so insignificant because you had him in the poor weeks that he had no bearing on your season.
Yeah.
I mean, another thing, you did really well with Sanchez. Me and Gaz had really poor seasons for keepers. You can see that we clearly were chopping and changing our goalkeepers.
That's surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
you had a lot of clean sheets for Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez did me well. Yeah, I didn't start with Sanchez. Started with Martinez.
Yeah,
enough, and then moved to Sanchez, and then I did get rid of Sanchez at the end. For Schmeichel, yeah.
Who didn't even make it on your list either, so he was insignificant.
Nah, but he was. That was like what that was 35. I bought him in wild card. I bought him in. So,
but yeah, the only thing I did really well on is I picked a ridiculously good midfield. It's the only thing that saved me. I mean, Salah was nowhere near as good as you two, as I alluded to earlier. But I had Son for a huge part of the season, so Son got me 251 points, which should have been more because I should have capped him in against Villa. Sterling got me 99 points, and I barely played Sterling.
Be interesting. See the price of these teams because you've got 4 premium midfielders in there.
Yes, which shows that when I moved my team around here and there, I moved it well.
Yeah.
So when I had Fernandez for that double game week where he got, I think it was like 27 points against Villa and Brentford, etc.
Yeah.
The only player that I do know for a definitive fact that I got every single point he scored in FPL is Alexander-Arnold.
Oh, okay. Is that how many points you
Alexander
got?
Arnold scored 208 points. I didn't own him for one game week, which was against Manchester City, which he was injured. So I transferred him out and then a wild carded the following week and brought him straight back in.
Oh,
So,
that's pretty impressive then.
yes, that's the only good thing I've got going for me, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I got him in game week 4,
Ah,
and then from then on, so I only missed out. I missed out on like 26 points.
yeah.
Which is
So-
quite a lot in 4 game weeks.
Yeah. I think
So
I
I
had
was a
him
bit
from the
too-
start.
He got injured.
I got
and
rid of
then
him when he got injured. I did bring him back. I think it took me a couple of
brought him
weeks.
back. Me and Gaz got him back during the
Yeah.
international break. You didn't.
Yeah. And then I got rid of him at the end because I brought Robertson in because it was slightly cheaper. And Robertson was finished the season in better form as well. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But yeah, so I mean,
Well, yeah,
you
Robertson made my bench. And
Yeah.
I only had him for the last, 5 game weeks.
There you go. See, that's a good pick. You kind of get, like I said, you get a rough idea of what you did right in some instances and what you did wrong. So I did okay with premium midfielders. Clearly, I was poor for defenders and goalkeepers. My forwards, I didn't get a single forward that got more than 100 points. That's tragic.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, Antonio didn't get more than 3 goals after game week 11. So I got most of those Antonio points at the start.
Yeah.
And Lacazette, I only owned for like 6 weeks, and he got 40.
Not great.
And then Gaz held Madison for far too long. Stubbornness really cost him.
He wasn't playing in the league. He was playing in the Conference League. So
And that gives you a general picture of your whole team as well. Because with
Yeah.
Charlison, you didn't own for much, like 6 to 8 weeks tops, and he's in your starting lineup with 56. And Liveramento's on your bench with 41, and Livermento got injured at Christmas.
Oh God, yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So yeah, that shows that a stubbornness of holding on to certain players, thinking times will change, and it's just not.
Yeah.
Just get rid of them.
Well, this was by points, weren't it? And we've also got
Yeah, so
team of the year by a relative gain. So this is kind of, well, actually, I'm not quite sure. You might be better explaining this.
So relative gain is in terms of their ownership in the game comparative to your rank and their points. So for my case, the players that are on this list, when I got points from them, how much rank did I get from them? Same with all of you. So when I did own Martinez, it was a relative gain of 66.8.
Yeah.
Which is about median.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, actually that's the higher end because no one owned Martinez really.
Probably in those weeks, like when he saved the penalty, stuff like that.
Yeah, when he got 10 points and no one owned
everyone
him.
had kind of sacked him off by then.
And you can see it with Gaz. Gaz got 81.7 for Kane because he got Kane early and he caught those 2 game weeks where he got like 3 assists.
Yeah, that's quite a big one.
Yeah, so that gives you a relative sort of jump.
Son for use 162.7.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
That's because I owned him most of the season.
Yeah.
I owned him in game week 1 at home to Manchester City when no one went near a Tottenham player.
I think I had him game week 1.
Either you might have, but he was relatively low owned. I think he was owned by like 12% of the league. So
Brownie was my best gain.
But
He only got 4 returns.
there you go.
Oh, in
After Kane, Brown.
third, Rudiger as well.
Yeah, Rudiger.
Yeah.
No, best midfielder.
Oh, best midfielder, yeah.
Which is bad.
Was Brownhill. That says a lot.
And Greenwood's in there, and you didn't own Greenwood after like game week 7, 8 because he was suspended.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is also a way of showing you potentially when you made right moves.
Yeah, I feel like my scores are all quite low, but maybe they average out across across
Well,
the
they're
board.
they're they're
But
not low like mine and Gaz's. Like I've got Carl Walker 21.8 and Rudiger 23.6, where yours are in the average 40s.
yeah,
So sometimes getting an average rank gain, a modest rank gain,
where
or
that might
relative.
reflect is, I mean, I definitely this season didn't try and focus on being differential or anything like that. I just kept it simple, picked the team I wanted to, and it may have happened that it was the bog standard team and it's what everyone had and stuff like that. But I just found that was the better way to do it, and that
Yeah, there's
probably
no harm
reflects
in
in
having
this
a template.
because
You get your captaincy right along with the template,
yeah,
and someone who's got the template gets the captaincy wrong, like I did in a couple of game weeks.
yeah,
You start aiming away at people and getting into those better positions.
yeah, yeah. I can't be playing all this. Let's find the differential rubbish.
Uh-huh.
I'd rather just pick the team that feels best and go with that. So
I mean, my striker choices were so bad this season that my best two for relative gain were Lacazette, who no one would go near, and Jimenez, who also no one would go near.
yeah,
And he wasn't that good.
Jimenez was in your team of the year by points as well.
Yeah,
Which is
because I
amazing
captained
because
him
he did
one
not
week.
have a good season.
No.
It just shows
So,
strikers this year, the forwards, wasn't a great year for them. I mean, I'm shocked Kane ended up being the top scorer, but
that's because he found form towards the end of the season. Like I said, there
yeah,
was a couple of games he got 3 assists in each.
yeah, that is true.
So,
Yeah,
and that 3 assists for a striker was like 22 points plus bonus.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. So now we've seen those. We could look at our players of the season.
Funny thing is now we're going to look at this, but it won't be reflective for some of us.
No,
For who we
maybe
pick.
not. But it'd be interesting because we could reflect back to the teams of the season now, and obviously the stats we've looked at as well. But I feel like these choices are maybe more from the heart a little bit as well. Because
Emotional choices, yes.
yeah, yeah. Um. So yeah, I've put them all up there. But I mean, goalkeepers. You think that might match our teams of the season, which for me and Gaz it did.
Yes.
Sanchez and Sarr, but you've got Nick Pope, which I guess is because of the double that he had him for, and he smashed it.
So I only owned Nick Pope for 2 game weeks. And he didn't get less than, I think it was like 6 points. So I can't remember. He was in one of my best. No, my worst decisions, right?
Yeah. Well, you must be in all
So
your
I
choices
had
were
him in
bad decisions, but
game week 26. I bought Nick Pope in. I'd got frustrated with Manchester United,
mm-hmm.
so I bought Nick Pope in for De Gea, and in that game week or double, he got me 13 points. And then in game week 27, Pope got me 5 points. It was a poor double, that third double game week for Burnley.
Yeah.
But I'd already, I missed out on the first one. I think the first one, Pope got 19 points. But I got the 13 and I got the 5, and so that's 18 points over 2 game weeks. That's an average of 9 points per game.
Was it
It's effective.
your sub goalie in your team of the season?
No,
No.
probably not Schmeichel,
Schmeichel, yeah.
because I'd started him quite a lot.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, makes sense. He would have picked up points. But
Yeah, if I'd kept Nick Pope, like some of the other people did in our league, he picked up a lot more clean sheets towards the end. So it probably would have been just as effective as Schmeichel, but having Schmeichel saved me like 0.6, 0.7, so I could do more. And that's the only reason Nick Pope's in there. He played 2 games, or 2 game weeks, I should say, got 18 points.
yeah.
And that's the only best keeper I could find in my squad. So that's clearly I picked wrong this season in goalkeepers.
Yeah.
You stuck with Martinez for quite a while when he wasn't really.
I stuck with Martinez for 20 game weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot moved off him
Yeah.
quite early on.
Yeah. It seemed like, we can see why he did it though. Made sense. especially after the season he had last year, but it didn't quite happen for him this year. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, see, you of the three best goalkeepers here, you started with Sanchez.
No,
Gaz
I started with Martinez.
did you start with Martinez? Okay, so
Yep.
you moved early.
Martinez
Yeah.
lasted about 4 or 5 weeks for me, and then I
Yeah.
got rid of him.
Gaz wildcarded in game week 4, so that's why Gaz got Sar, and that's why you probably have a better reflection of both your keepers.
I think I did the same. I think I wildcarded in 4, and that was when I brought Sanchez in.
Yeah, I wildcarded in 8 and still kept Martinez
I wildcarded.
and had the double Villa keeper set up. So that's a poor decision on a wildcard.
Yeah.
But I just thought they'd turn it around.
Game week 4, I wildcarded, and Sanchez came in.
There you go.
Yeah. So,
I didn't get Sar until game week 22.
Ah.
I had Mendy for.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So Sar was a mid to late season pick and actually was effective.
I should have put him in. I think I originally was going to get him in instead of Mendy, but I couldn't afford him. Or
he
something.
started at 4-5, and then obviously I think he ended the season at 5-3, something like that. So he'd be at least 5 million next year, I assume.
Yeah, probably.
Did
well. Yeah. So defenders wise, Cancelo for you, Gaz. Did you?
Yeah, I think I should have picked Rudiger. Looking at it all now on paper.
Yeah.
Rudiger was probably.
Cancelo and Trent were in all our teams, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We couldn't obviously pick. I couldn't pick Trent and Salah because of the rule with the teams. So I could have.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh, that wouldn't have applied to this.
Yeah, it wouldn't apply, dear.
It would have been Trent probably.
But
I thought we couldn't pick the same team.
No, that doesn't apply to that. So, I mean, if
doesn't
your
apply
team of the
except
season was 4 Man City players, you could have picked 4 Man City players.
Yeah, I think those three, Trent, Rudiger and Cancelo, were my best defenders on paper and points-wise. So, but I only had Cancelo for half the season, game week 18 onwards. But he'd already done the damage by that point. I was a bit late getting on him because I couldn't get to him because he was too expensive.
Yeah,
but injury to James meant that I could get him in.
He increased the most out of any player this year.
Yeah. So, but he still did well for me. He still got me nearly 100 points.
Yeah.
In 18 game weeks. So
he was my pick. I changed mine last minute to Diaz, and that was because I looked at the team of the year stats. Because Diaz pops up in both my points version and my gain version.
Yeah, it was back. That's when Man City went on that run where they won. They were getting like loads of clean sheets, and
I decided to go double City, Cancelo, Diaz. Yeah.
And then he got injured.
Yeah.
He got injured in 35, 36, but Ross didn't have him by then, I don't think.
No, I don't know. I think I might have got rid of him. Because of that. But
you probably got rid of him on your wild card.
Yeah, I probably did actually.
And he got injured that week.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I could have picked Diaz or Cancelo. Cancelo was kind of my second choice, or Trent. But yeah, Cancelo actually had the most starts for me, 27 out of anyone. So I probably should have gone Cancelo, my pick as well, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. And yeah, Mike, Trent, I guess that makes sense going back to what you said. 208 points, you got the full.
I got his full score.
Yeah.
He was consistent.
Yeah.
I don't waver with Alexander-Arnold.
No.
Everyone else is kind of on the fence, or they say, he can't defend, etc., etc. No.
In FPL, it doesn't matter whether he can defend or not, as long as the rest of them defend.
Even so,
and he
I
gets
don't buy
attacking points. It's fine.
I don't buy into any of that nonsense. I didn't buy into it last season as well. So I scored last season when Liverpool were bad at points, and I kept him for like 9 game weeks where he got nothing.
Yeah, he did keep him stubbornly for a long time last year.
Forever.
Yeah, where he's
And then
doing really bad.
I got like 4 of his first hauls because no one else owned him and no one else would buy him because they were like, oh, he's still bad. And you're like, he's not. Trust me.
Yeah. Well, in a way, similar to Gaz with Madison this year, because he come good in the end.
Yes, but Alexander-Arnold last season came good after game week like 17 and then went all the way to 38 being great.
Well,
As
yeah.
Gaz held Madison for like 12 weeks and Madison would get rotated out for one and play the other, or because of the Europa Conference, he wouldn't play at all. And then Gaz got a bench option that was really bad.
I only had Madison for 5 game weeks. 33 I brought him in, I think.
There you go.
Yeah. But he got 25 in 37, 25 points. So if you got 56 from him, that means you got like only 25 from the 4 other game weeks, which is bad.
I don't think I even brought him in on my wildcard. I think I brought him in a bit later than that.
Well, your wildcard was 35, so
yeah, where was
36, 37, or 38?
35. Yeah, no, I didn't have him in. I brought him in. I luckily brought him in right at the right time, which was 37. I think he might have done well in 36 as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got him in 37 where he got 25 and then 13. Yeah.
There you go. So he got 38 points in the last 2 game weeks, but Gaz had him for 3 weeks previous.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Speaking of midfielders, me and Gaz, Salah, which, goes without saying, doesn't it? Salah this year. I'm surprised by yours, Mike. You've gone Raheem Sterling, even though you said you missed out on his captaincy points and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I got 99 points from Sterling.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I only played him 8 times.
That's not bad for eight appearances.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, 8 appearances, and if bearing in mind that average is about 12.5 points per match, and if you bear in mind if I played him for the Norwich hat trick, we got 18, I would be on 107 points. Oh no, sorry, even more. I'd be on 117 points from 9 starts. And if I'd captained him that week, like I said, I'd be on, 127 points, 130 points from 9 starts from one player. That's insanely good. That would be 14 points a match from one player. That's the epitome of a quality differential.
Yeah.
Zero. He never got more than 2% owned in the league because people considered him too expensive and too risky. But I always picked him for games that I knew he'd play because he didn't play in the Champions League. So I figured he'll be rotated in for this one because it's an easier match.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't tend to rate Mahrez. And so without his sort of points, even though I made mistakes in the season, I would have probably been down around about Gaz's rank. So that's the difference, I guess.
You definitely got him, the right times.
Always at the right times. I always had him at the right times, and I even had him for the hat trick, but I just sold him because I'm an idiot. And obviously, when Kevin De Bruyne got 4 goals and got 60, Sterling got 28, and I was the only one that kept him. He was the most sold player that week, one of the most sold players.
Yeah.
Because people went Sterling down to someone else that didn't even get close.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was even more shocking when he was then rotated out for Mahrez for the final 2 games, who in those 2 games missed a penalty and did nothing else really. He got an assist, but that was it. So Sterling, in that respect, is a sort of player that that usually, if you want to get like a top 50k finish, he's the sort of player you need to find. And I don't think he'll be that next season because City will have Haaland.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if Sterling will be there next season either.
No.
So,
No, I
if he ends,
don't think he's been that happy this year. I think he does one more game
no,
time,
because
doesn't he?
he's not been playing the Champions League, has he?
Yeah.
He's not been playing the Champions League, and then like after having such a stellar game, like game week where he got 2 goals, 2 assists,
Yeah.
he then got rotated out for West Ham. Mahrez,
Yeah.
you know.
That's,
So I mean,
that's,
if he ends up at another Premier League club, I probably would have Sterling in my team all the time. I get the sneaking suspicion he won't drop in price, which will make it more
no.
of a differential. It'll be like 10.5 or
Yeah. Although
which
if
is
he
what
goes somewhere else, at least you might get a guarantee of he plays every week.
he'll want more guarantees of more regular starts. Yeah, so if he went to
Yeah.
Arsenal,
Yeah.
there would be no reason why I wouldn't have Sterling and Saka as a double in my midfield.
Mm.
So, yeah, I think he was just a good player this season, and effectively, it helped me bridge the gap between you and Gaz, who scored far more superior than I did for Salah. As we said earlier, I scored 30 less points this season with Salah
Yeah.
compared to Gaz, and like 50 to 60 less than you.
Yeah, I did get the most out of Salah.
Mhm.
My points. I think I played him less, captained him less, and I managed to get more points out of him somehow. So, but I don't know how. I don't know how I managed that, but yeah, it's good. So, yeah. Strikers. Yeah, we've all gone different. So, Gaz, you've gone Kane. I've gone Antonio. And Mike Lacazette. So another one. I'm surprised by Lacazette as well. But I
Well,
guess
no,
there weren't
because when
much
you
to
look,
choose from, really. Looking at
no,
your stats.
when you look at my statistics,
Mm,
I had 3 strikers. None of them got more than 100 points, and the best one was Jimenez, and he wasn't
yeah.
memorable for me in the slightest.
No.
And the only reason Lacazette was because I got 40 points out of him in like 5 starts. And again,
True.
that would have been significantly higher if I'd played him
Yep.
when he got 12 points in that one game week and I benched him instead.
Mm,
So his points per game for that small window was excessively high. It was about 6-7 points a game.
yep.
And again, he was only owned by about 7 to 9% of the league. So it was a good choice. And one of those other decisions I made that was reasonably okay. I mean, it wasn't as good as Kane during that period. If I'd got Kane like Gaz did, Gaz got like 174 points. I got 40, and I was just pleased with that.
He wasn't scoring loads, but there was a period Arsenal were doing really well, and he
He's getting
was
assists and
getting a
getting
lot of
bonus.
assists and bonus and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah, 40 points is paltry, but
yeah,
you know, again, of the 4 that I've picked, 3 of them clearly were differentials that got me rank boosts or something different, and that's why they're in my players of the season, really.
and plus, you weren't going near Harry Kane this year because you had your knickers in a twist about him
Yeah, he loves oil.
wanting to leave and him loving oil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go near him.
Which did hurt you because he was your rank killer, weren't he?
Yes, he was. He killed me significantly by,
But
because I
that's
refused to
probably a
own him.
big thing this season because normally you'd have him. He'd be like one of the first names on your team sheet. Wouldn't he?
Yeah, previous seasons playing this, I'm normally gravitated towards him because I know he's reliable and he plays 90 every week, etc. And he takes penalties. But this season, because of how everything played out in the summer, I wouldn't go near him.
And I mean, it was fine in the start of the year because he was not very good.
No, because he didn't want to be there. And we had, Nuno as the manager, and then Nuno gave us the biggest gift ever, which was to substitute Mora against Manchester United, and that cost him his job.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous now you think about it, because Mora doesn't make the starting lineup.
That's a good
Hasn't
point.
made the starting lineup since February.
Got Kulizeski now. Don't need more.
Exactly. My point had always been Mora was a poor winger. but the best we had, which was reflective of how poor Tottenham's attacking options were. And in the second we got someone in that was half decent, Mora's non-existent.
Yeah.
But he is the reason that Nuno lost his job after getting manager of the month in August, remember? Because we didn't concede a single goal.
Yeah. Wow.
The
Yeah,
real
crazy.
topsy-turvy season for Tottenham. We had
Was.
Kane, who didn't want to be there. We won our first 3 games
Yeah,
without conceding
beat
a
Man
single goal.
City first game.
Beat Man City 1-0. Son was sort of, being the main man, and it looked like he might be the main man if Man City upped their offer. City didn't bother. We had a pouty Kane. Window shut, and in the Nuno won manager of the month, and then the next 3 games we got absolutely battered by Palace and whatnot. So, and then Nuno lost his job. We lost the next 3 games 3-0, and I think that's why he lost his job.
Yeah.
But it was effectively whoever lost that at Man United and Tottenham in that game. That manager was losing their job, and Conte was going to win either one of those teams.
So
That's how tight.
Did it the right way round.
Yeah, he substituted Mora. He basically took the bullet for him. For us. That always make Nuno a sort of semi-hero for most Tottenham fans, that we managed to get Conte, and Man United went out and got Ralph Rangnick, who was laughable. He's not even taking up the consultancy role now. That's how bad he was. So.
Yeah. But yeah, Gaz went Harry Kane and did him quite well.
Yeah, brought him in a wild card, game at 22, and that's when he started picking up points.
Yeah,
he didn't. There was a few game weeks where he didn't return, but yeah, the majority of them he returned, and he's getting assists as well. So yeah, by far the best striker I picked. I mean, Antonio did well the first half of the season, quarter of the season, which is probably why you've gone for him, because was returning quite a lot.
I picked him. It was a tough one. I mean, I could have picked Kane as well, because I got Kane in towards the end, and he did do me well. I think he is both of our superstar players based on the stats. But my heart just wanted to go Antonio, because Antonio got me off to a good start, which was nice this season to get off to a reasonable start. It could have been better, but yeah, got me off to that good start and was obviously flying the first few weeks.
Yeah,
I did hold on to him probably longer than I should have done. So that was unfortunate, but yeah, I think just because of the start he gave me, it was good enough to win. My other one could have been Watkins, because of the end of the season he gave me. I mean, he got me like 20 odd points in 3 game weeks, so that was pretty good. And I think he made my team of the season, Watkins, in like 3 game weeks. So yeah, just goes to show. But
yeah, there wasn't really a lot. Vardy didn't do anything really. Ings.
no.
So Kane, Dennis. I suppose Dennis would be an outside pick, but yeah, there was a lot of strikers. I went through a lot of strikers. So yeah, Kane was by far the one that was points.
He definitely came good at the end. So
yeah, my team picked itself basically.
Yeah.
This team picked itself pretty much.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it was easier to do the best players. Slightly trickier to do the worst players or worst picks. So we should probably go on to those.
Actually, you say that, but
was yours easy?
Yeah, I pretty much knew that these were going to be. Once I started looking at it week by week, there was a pattern there. I was like, yeah, I can't do any worse than this.
Yeah, actually, I can appreciate some of your picks on this. Yeah.
The statistics, though, if you guys looked at these in depth, probably are not reflective of some of his picks.
Possibly. Yeah.
Mendy probably wasn't as bad as he actually was, but he only got 2 returns in 9 game weeks. So
yeah,
no,
I think he's more a reflection of going triple Chelsea and it not working out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then doing the frustrating thing of when you do take him out, getting a clean sheet.
But Mendy scored more than Reece James, and Gaz had him for that same period.
Reece James probably could have been in this as well.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't think we could pick 2 from the same team. So.
Yeah, you could have done. But probably in terms of a goalkeeper, you didn't go through that many goalkeepers anyway, so probably weren't much to choose from in terms of that anyway.
The other keepers I didn't have them for long. Martinez, I'd only had 5 game weeks.
Yeah.
Sanchez was on the bench most of the time. Who else did I have? Foster was on the bench most of the time. So the only keepers I played throughout the season was Sarr, Mendy, and Raya. And Raya got injured after 4 game weeks.
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't a lot to choose from, really.
Yeah, it's tough with the keepers. My Martinez pick has a double barrel to it. So I had him for the first 3 weeks. Didn't do great. But I think the reason he makes it in here is because the week Mike had Fernandez and had him captain, Martinez decided to be really rubbish.
Yes, I remember now.
Yeah, and I just thought, it's bloody typical. He helps Mike out even when Mike doesn't have him in his bloody team.
Yeah, I remember that well now.
So hence he gets to be in the worst picks of the season, and I'm outraged that Mike's picked him as the worst pick because based on that, he should possibly be in Mike's best team.
Well, I mean, you keep saying it, but it didn't. That jump didn't help me.
You kept him too long, I think. That was.
So Martinez, based on my stats for the season, is my best goalkeeper, my best scoring goalkeeper, and my best performing keeper for relative gain. Because obviously everyone kept selling him, and I kept him for 20 game weeks.
And then if you add on the points Fernandez got because he was rubbish that day, unusually rubbish, like he'd been taking some bribes or something.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I didn't own him for that game week.
But you owned Fernandez, and he let the goals in for
You're
Fernandez.
More about this than anything, but it's not like
it's because I tried to explain it earlier, and you still don't get it. You go, I didn't own Martinez. It doesn't matter. No. You own Fernandez, and he let the goal in, so Fernandez got the points that Martinez let him get.
That's not my axe to grind. He was poor all season. See, so your reason for hating him is because he was shocking against Man United. My reason for not keeping him was I had him for 20 game weeks. He got me 70 points total. That only averages less than 3.5 points per week game week, which is appalling. Nick Pope I owned for 2 weeks. Nick Pope got 20 nearly. So Nick Pope was averaging like 9 points a game week. I had David De Gea for 3 weeks. Because I finally relented and got rid of Martinez for De Gea.
Oh, yeah.
And De Gea still got more than Martinez. I think I got like 20 points from De Gea over 3 game weeks. And Man United were objectively poor because there was 2 doubles in that.
De Gea was the safest defensive pick to get Man United, though, because he was getting loads of save points.
Yes, and he wasn't being rotated. So, like, I had Dallo. Because I had double Man United defence during that period. That's how bad my decision making had got. And so Martinez was my longest starting keeper. After that, it was 3 weeks, 4 weeks with De Gea, 2 weeks with Pope, 3 weeks with Dubravka, 3 weeks with Schmeichel.
Did you have Pickford? No, that was Russell.
No, I had Pickford in a free hit. for 37 when I went triple Everton defence. That went brilliant, didn't it? And Pickford had got
Pickford did alright though, didn't he? Got save points and stuff.
no, he got 4 points total.
I'm sure you had him a week when he did quite well. But...
No, not Pickford.
Yeah.
Well, you said
I had him in FPL 4. He did really well.
Yeah, maybe add him in that.
And he got 12 points in a double game week, and that's what persuaded me to pick him. Because I was like, oh, Everton have got 2 home games, clean sheets, save points. Oh, I'll be on to a winner here.
Yep.
So, yeah, Martinez was my longest kept goalkeeper, which made him, by default, my top scoring goalkeeper. But his average points was poor. He was nowhere near the player he was the season before. He cost 5.5 million, so he wasn't worth it. Then I got caught in the reason I sold him out of anger was because COVID struck, and then Villa didn't play like 2 games, and I had Steer as my backup keeper, so I didn't play with any goalkeepers.
Yep.
But I couldn't have foreseen that because it was the same as the Tottenham Burnley game that got postponed. It was after the deadline and like less than like 1 or 2 hours before thingy. And I'm pretty sure the Burnley Tottenham game, when that got postponed, I think that was the first game that had been called off by snow for nearly a decade.
Oh yeah,
something silly.
I forgot one got called off for snow as well.
Yeah, and then of course that got rearranged into another double game week, which was the double game week. Tottenham beat Man City and then lost to Burnley. So yeah, I mean, Martinez, if you went by just a stats analysis, he probably shouldn't be here, but he effectively gets here because I had him the longest, and his points per game was appalling, and he just was frustrating to own.
It's quite similar.
Fair enough.
When I worked out the averages, it's quite similar for Mendy. I owned him for 9 game weeks. His average was only about 3. He only made returns, so yeah, I didn't do very well with keepers this year, apart from when I got Sarin, and he got a few returns.
Yeah, my best performing keeper was Pope for 2 weeks at 38. That's tragically bad. So, and yeah, that's why Martinez is here.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I'll give you that. I still think you need to add the points on that he got you for Fernandes, but
I know you're going to keep beating that drum.
Yeah, definitely. It was such a bad goal. It was ridiculous.
Oh, I understand that, but it was so bad. You can understand why I was so frustrated with him and why he's in this for me as well, because he went
that's
from
true,
being the
but you didn't have him that
goalkeeper,
week, so it was handy, weren't it?
Top scoring goalkeeper. I think he nearly broke the record last season, right? He nearly beat Brad Friedel, or he did.
Yeah,
for FPL points.
He's amazing, weren't he, last year? But
he was unreal. And in this season, he just went back to being like the Martinez that Arsenal used to farm out on loan to places like Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's like, this is unreal. And then, like, even when Gerrard came in, thankfully I didn't own him by then because I couldn't, I just couldn't stand it anymore. But that was when Gerrard was in for the Man United game, and he was abysmal. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't get dropped. He was so bad in that game. I mean, Man United won that game, and Man United were awful all season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Man United, if we move on to defenders, Varane for you guys. I can see that. I recall our preview for the season and Varane being talked about a lot because he'd just signed, hadn't he? Or he was being signed. And I'm pretty sure you two were quite excited about him and saying how well he was going to do, and didn't quite work out that way.
Showed the difference between Premier League and La Liga. The Liga made him look better than he actually was.
Yeah,
he's not a very good defender. I brought him in game week 4, wild card. I had him for 3 weeks. He got 2 every week.
Yeah.
2-2-2, and then I got rid of him. I brought in Rudiger, I think.
Yeah, which
So, yeah.
probably a much
There's
better
loads
choice.
of defenders. There was loads of defenders I could have picked,
Hmm.
but he's in purely because he didn't return once the whole time I had him.
No, he did. He did score at some point, but yeah, you'd probably got rid of him by then. I can't remember if that was late on in the season or early.
It's literally the week after I took him out.
Was
I think
it?
he got.
Typical. It's always the way. Yeah.
I had Luke Shaw for the first 3 weeks of the season. He got more points than Varane did.
Yeah, I think I had Luke Shaw as well. Yeah.
Luke Shaw was owned by 50% of the league at the start.
Yeah.
Everyone expected Man United to have an absolutely unreal defence because if you remember the season before, they hadn't lost away from home for like 27, 28 games.
Yep.
All three of us predicted that Solskjaer was going to come second in the league.
Yeah.
We basically predicted Man United to be in the top four easy under Solskjaer.
Yeah.
They'd gone and got Sancho, so they'd improved their attacking options.
Yep.
They'd gone and got a couple other players that, like Varane, that was really an exciting option that improved that defence no end.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke Shaw just had one of the best, seasons of his career that culminated in him scoring in the finals of the Euros.
Yep.
And Maguire was great at the Euros. And then those two were both absolutely shocking for the whole season for Man United. And then Wan-Bissaka fell off a cliff as well. Sancho as well. Every Man United player that played for the England squad in the Euros had an awful season.
Rashford.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
that's
Rashford,
4 players.
So bad now. Yeah.
Rashford was anonymous.
Yeah.
Martial had a bad season at United. I will
another one.
Money. Cavani.
I'll maintain that Man United's season was probably derailed because they went all out to sign Ronaldo on deadline day.
Yeah,
they'd prepped pre-season and looked great. I mean, they beat Everton in pre-season like 5-0. And they were absolutely sublime in that match. I am aware it's pre-season and you go, we have to take it with a pinch of salt. But that was like a week before the season started.
Yeah, well, and in hindsight, how bad Everton did probably wasn't that impressive.
Obviously, but think about it. Game week 1, Man United beat Leeds 5-1. They absolutely came out of the blocks and were unreal.
Oh, yeah, they started well, didn't they? Yeah.
There was no, the second game they drew was Southampton, but you can go, first month of the season, you get the surprise result here and there. But, Man United did not lose. In the first 4 games, they drew with Southampton. They beat Wolves 1-0 away from home. And then they beat Newcastle 4-1 at home. That was Ronaldo's debut. But it seems like the team cohesion was blown apart to get Ronaldo. He didn't have a pre-season with United. And that was about as good as it got, that Newcastle game where everyone clamoured to get Ronaldo in.
Yeah, that was one, Newcastle, yeah.
Then that was it. That was the end of it. I mean, a lot of people were angry as well because they took like a -4 to get in another Man United defender after persisting with them for the first 3 weeks and not getting a lot.
Well, that's it. I got Varane in game week 4.
There you go. For Newcastle.
They conceded. I think they drew with Brentford or something during that run.
Not in the first 4, but it would have been after, once Ronaldo started playing, etc. That's where it started to fall to pieces.
Yeah.
So, I mean, United were the biggest disappointment this season because they seemed like they had such a good squad. And that England team defensively to get to the Euro finals was fantastic.
It's good, yeah.
So,
yeah, it was mad. I don't know. See what they do next year, I guess, but yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of players are being shipped out or have left because their contracts have run out. Pogba confirmed gone today.
Yeah.
It
needs a freshen up there, doesn't it? So I think
loads are gone, so that it will be a complete new look. There'll be a lot more youth players. I mean, De Jong's allegedly coming in from Barcelona.
Oh.
So he might play the same centre midfield pairing like he did at Ajax, which was De Jong and Van der Beek.
Be interesting.
Yeah. Um,
And I think they're signing the right back from Ajax as well.
yeah, Timber.
Timber.
Oh, Timber.
Because Wan-Bissaka's allegedly leaving to go back to Palace for a loan or permanent. So there'll be a lot of movement at Man United, and it'll be intriguing to see what happens. And I mean, Ronaldo might be great this season. And as much as people say he's going to leave, but if he gets a pre-season under a new manager, bearing in mind Ten Hag used to play up front at number 9. The old Southampton Tadic. Tadic got like 29, 30 goals, I think.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely unreal for Ajax.
Yep.
So if Tadic, I mean, probably got a bit more of a work rate than Ronaldo, but you get the right team, the right setup, the right players. Ronaldo could be a 30 goal a season for United, even at 38 years old. So
well, he got a fair few goals this year, didn't he? Still.
Yeah, but
it wasn't as good as I think everyone expected.
No, because he came in without not having a pre-season. He was dumped into a team that wasn't built to sort of supplement his abilities at his age.
Yeah.
And they lost Luke Shaw to injury, so the crosses went from there. Wan-Bissaka can't cross. So there weren't much. And that centre midfielder was absolutely, just flimsy at best. So this is probably Van der Beek's last season to get it right. If he can't do it even under his old manager.
Yeah.
So, but
I don't know if he played much when he went to Everton. I think he played more than Dele Alli, but
he started well and then he got injured and fell away. Okay. And then Dele Alli got a couple of chances towards the end, but
we've both gone Alonso, Mike. I mean, my reason is apart from that one we did spot in one of my screenshots, most of the time he does really well. I put him in and then he'll get dropped or he'll get 2 points or 0 or something like that. I always seem to just miss his massive points hauls. Very frustrating.
Or he gets taken off. Well, there was quite a few times he got taken off early and was getting clean sheets.
Yeah, Mike did get one. So again, Mike's put him in the worst. And you got that. Yeah.
Well, I owned Alonso for 10 game weeks. Between game week 13 to 23. He kept one clean sheet, which is the one you're alluding to. He got substituted at 60 minutes. 6 points. And in those 10 weeks, Alonso earned me 33 points. So that's an average of 3.3 points a game.
That's not great.
In that period, Rudiger got 4 goals and 3 assists. So if I'd had gone for Rudiger, I would have got double, if not treble, what I got from Alonso for that same period.
Yeah.
It was the most frustrating signing I've ever had. I mean, even if I'd had James through that period. In fact, I should have done what I said when I bought Alonso in. I said to you lot, I should go Shabala because he'd be cheaper. Shabala outscored him over that period.
He's such a trap.
He's considered royalty because he
did really well.
Couple of seasons he got a load of goals, but he just, and then there are streaks where he is great. Like he got 11 points. I think Gaz had him for the double game week where he got like a 20 points total nearly, or someone had him.
Yeah, possibly. Might have been me. I might have had him.
Yeah, it might be you towards the end of the season.
Yeah, but there's been too many times that it's clouded my judgment.
Yeah,
where I get wound up. I mean, I had him for the last game of the season. I brought him in, I think, on my wild card because I thought, that'd be good. And he didn't play the last game of the season.
No.
It's like, for God's sake.
Scoring quite a lot towards the end.
Oh, yeah, the week he scored was the week I benched him. Yeah, you see, I always miss out on these points.
Right.
But I forewarned you when you went and got him.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get him. Just get someone boring like Rudiger because Rudiger will outscore him eventually. So
Yeah,
he's a
it
frustrating
was
player.
it was to
And
do with money. He was cheaper, I think, and
he was cheaper and he was more nailed because Chilwell was out for the season. So you're
yeah,
like, oh, no
exactly.
one could possibly beat, playing his position. But he was so bad during points that Reece James got moved to left wing back.
Yeah.
They even played
But
Sal
there
there.
was one of the games in the last week. He went off at half time, didn't he? Because he had a bust up with Tuchel.
Yeah, Tuchel said he was always
Yeah.
constantly out of position and not playing the
Yeah.
way he wanted him to, and they had an argument.
And that was the week I played him, and I got 1 point. And then I thought, oh well, he's not going to play the next week, so I benched him, and he played and scored.
Because they made it up and he got sillier
Yeah.
points.
And so I put him in for the last game week. Doesn't play, not in the squad.
No.
It's like, oh, for God's sake.
I'll be glad if he goes this summer.
Yeah, I'll be glad if he goes.
Just takes that option away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because Chilwell's back now.
I mean, he's partly there representing Chelsea, because Chelsea have just been a frustrating team this year to pick players from. I mean,
another team again that's been disturbed by making a late move for a superstar, but then didn't fit into the team.
Yeah, Lukaku. Lukaku could have quite easily been my striker in this.
Yeah, Lukaku. Bearing in mind Lukaku's debut as well, didn't he get 2 against Arsenal?
Yeah,
goal and assist.
Oh, of course he did. Yeah, Arsenal, isn't it? He loves playing Arsenal.
And then everyone clamoured to get Lukaku because I had said to you at the start of when we did our first team reveals before this first game week, I said if Lukaku comes in, he'll be in my team every week. He'd be the only striker I absolutely would want. He'd be a dead cert because he'd score like 30 goals.
Yep, that's what I thought as well. I was like, Lukaku's coming in. I'm going to have to get Lukaku. And I did go and get Lukaku. And
Me too.
Disappointing.
And then I immediately sold him.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't take long. I think I captained him 1 week. It was a bad week. One of the I could have put as a defining week. And yeah, not good.
I mean, he cost £100 million and he only started 16 times.
Yeah, mad.
That's bad.
Mad.
And that's out,
And he's probably the reason you got lured into captaining Havertz as well. So you could blame Lukaku for that.
Yep.
Because he should have been playing up front, and then you wouldn't have captained Havertz then.
No.
What a bastard!
Absolute nightmare.
Well, it's probably back to Inter, isn't he?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Inter really can't afford it.
No.
Unless Inter sell at least 2 of their superstars, because Chelsea will want to try and get as much of that 100 million back as possible. If not, it'd be the second time in as many years that Lukaku's joined for big money to an English team, been hounded out and then sold for a loss, and then gone really good again wherever he ends up.
Yeah.
Because Man United paid 75 for him?
Yeah.
He did reasonably well for Man United, but the fans hounded him out, said he wasn't good enough for the Solskjaer squad. So they sold him for like a 25 million loss.
When he was there, Mourinho was there, weren't
he? Yeah, it was Mourinho's marquee signing.
Oh, yeah, it was signing, yeah. Which was surprising because Mourinho got rid of him at Chelsea, didn't he? So
yes, he did. He said he wasn't good enough and he was too fat.
Yeah. Wow.
Sure.
Strange. Yep. There's always one with Mourinho.
Oh, there's always one.
There's always one.
I'm sure he's got one at Roma, but I just cannot be asked to deal with any of that nonsense now.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares?
But Chelsea, just like Man United, big things are expected of them. I mean, bearing in mind Chelsea won the Champions League.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. That's true.
So, won the Champions League, brought Lukaku in, and he completely disrupted the cohesion. And
I mean, they come third, which
they come third, but they were expected to challenge.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
They spent 100 million on a marquee forward who got 30 plus goals last season. He was meant to be the missing piece in the puzzle that was going to, because their defence only conceded, what was it? Before Chilwell got injured, it was like 9 goals in like 15 games, including the Champions League. It was something absolutely stupid.
Yeah, and they only just scraped that third position. I mean, it went down to pretty much the last game, didn't it?
Yeah, well, they fell away, didn't they?
Yeah. No.
So, and I mean, and the problem with Chelsea is Tuchel said last season after the Champions League a rebuild was required. Everyone thought he meant he needs a marquee striker, so they got it. And he's saying again this summer a rebuild's required because they're losing for definite Rudiger.
I mean,
And
he's probably right this year with the defenders they're losing.
I mean, if Alonso, Alonso and Azpilicueta go as well, they're going to lose 4 out of their like 7 main starters. So that's a lot of loss. So
yeah, have to call back some of their players from loan, wouldn't they?
quite possibly. I mean, Chalobah could become a senior starter, which would mean I'm sure FPL will price him as such, but like 5.5. But he could still be a good option next season.
Maybe Kennedy's going to play. Kennedy.
I mean, he got an assist in the only appearance at the final day.
Yeah, so
don't rule it out.
No, definitely won't.
You never know. Stranger things have happened. I mean, Moses become one of the best wing backs in the country when he was playing at Chelsea under Conte.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, midfielders should probably move on. 4 hours for you, Gaz.
Yeah,
I don't even remember you having 4 hours, but yeah, go on.
Similar to Varane, game week 4. Game week 4 was actually should have put that down as a defining moment. That's when I did my wild card, game week 4, and it was not a very good wild card. I brought in Danny Ings, 4 now, Varane, players like that who didn't really do anything. 4 nows, game week 4, had him for 4 weeks, no returns. He got 3, 2, 1, 2, I think. He got 8 points in 4 weeks. So yeah, that was a bad pick.
Was he doing well before then? He was. I feel like Fornals was doing all right at some point.
Pavlo Fornals, game week 1 got an assist. Game week 2 got a goal, so 8 points. Game week 3 got 7 points. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, he got 3 tops. From game week 4 to game week 9, a 5-6 week period, he only got 3 points maximum.
So
then he went and got 12 points against Liverpool and 6 points against Villa.
Yeah. So the classic, you bring a player in because he's doing really well, and then it dries up.
Mm-hmm. Fornals was the outside one though, because I think Gaz went for him because he couldn't afford Benzema, because Benzema rocketed in price too quickly.
Benzema?
Yeah, Benrahma.
Benrahma, sorry.
I was going to say.
I told you I've had like a week off and everything's gone to mush now. So
yeah, well, the last football we see was Champions League, so yeah,
exactly. So I'm just remembering things and plucking it out of the air.
Yeah.
The same thing happened with Benrahma though. He had a really, really good start, and then he didn't return for ages as well.
The thing with certain players, especially at the start of the season, in fact, most of the season, is knowing when to jump off. Or if they're relatively inexpensive that you can hold on to them. So Benrahma, I think, started the season at 6 million, but he got 2 12-point returns in the first 2 games. And then by then, he went up by about 0.4, 0.5 million because of how good he'd been in the first 2.
Yeah.
And then he blanked for 2 games.
Yeah.
And then he got 10 points against Man United. And then he didn't get any sort of significant return until game week 10 either. So he went for a long period.
Yeah.
But he did go quiet, and yeah, obviously Bowen was the one.
Bowen got 29 returns over the season.
Yeah.
Bowen didn't get anything for the first 5 game weeks. He got just 2s or 3s. He actually dropped in price. He got an assist against Man United.
Yeah.
Game week 5, and then an assist against Leeds, then a goal, and then another assist. Blanked against Tottenham, and then he started picking up points again against Villa, Liverpool, etc.
Wow.
Bowen was the more consistent one, but people didn't gravitate towards him because he had like single game weeks, and so people went for midfielders with double game weeks. Like Bowen got towards the end of the season, he got 13 points against Norwich, but no one picked him because it was a single game week.
Yeah.
And he got 14 points against Manchester City at home for that 2-2 draw because he got 2 goals.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, Fornals is nearly got as much as if you took out Gaz didn't play Maddison in 37 and 38. Fornals got the same as Maddison.
But yeah, Gaz didn't keep him for that.
No,
for him to get the points and
that
give
was
something
when he
back.
actually was being proactive in changes.
Yeah. So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, these apart from Mendy, all these picks, they're the only players in those positions that didn't get a return at least once. Players that I picked that didn't be played, but I didn't count players that I only had for 1 week because that's not fair.
Yeah, that's true.
Players that I had for more than 1 week who didn't return once, whereas every other player I went through it. Every other player I had in midfield, defence, striker, all returned at least once. These ones.
Yeah.
So that's what they're in.
Makes sense. So yeah, Zaha, Mike. Which is unusual. You love Zaha.
I do love Zaha.
He normally does well for you.
That's why I had Zaha for 10 game weeks nearly.
Oh, yeah.
I had Zaha between game week 12 and game week 19, just before he went off for AFCON. And he scored me a total of 14 points. And during that period, he got sent off. He got straight red against Tottenham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So he got 14 points minus the 2, so he got 12 over like 8 game weeks.
Nice.
And he was meant to be my differential because during those game weeks, Palace had very favourable fixtures. They were winning. They were picking up points. They were getting goals. Unfortunately, the man who was getting all the goals was Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
And I opted not for Gallagher because he was playing in a central midfield position. And I thought he can't keep that.
He can't maintain this, getting all these goals and stuff. And
I was right. He couldn't, but he definitely could up till Christmas.
Yeah.
Which was a poor. I should have just took the hit. Gallagher was going up in price. I should have got Gallagher at like 6.4 and just settled with it because Zaha got me nothing. And then he got suspended and then went to AFCON. And then I was like, I'm getting rid of him. And I never got him back.
No. I mean, I got him back towards the end of the season in my wild card and he did me very well.
That's because he was playing as up front, right? As a striker.
Yeah. And he got at least 2 or 3 of those goals been penalties. So yeah, it's been
31.
That's true. Yeah. So
he was converting his own penalties and getting bonus as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, because no one's getting the bloody assist from him, are they? So. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Did I have him for that one? I don't think I did. Luckily, no. Thankfully, I didn't. I just sold Zaha. I know I had him.
He missed the penalty.
Yeah, against Everton. See, so there you go. And that one was one of the worst penalties I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, he fell over.
I think I remember that.
He basically slipped and clipped it wide, like miles wide. So yeah, there you go. So and over that period, he averaged me 1.5 points a game. Game 1.5, not even enough for 2 points for an appearance. 1.5.
So I'm always I've always been wary of Zaha. I never usually get him, or if I do, it's only for like a couple of weeks. Because he's a bit up and down, but yeah. But normally you do well. Normally you put him in at the right time. So you've just been.
He was a great player. Yeah. He was a great player during these game weeks. He had chances. He had penalties that he missed. He had opportunities. he was the creative driving force still in a Vieira team that was scoring quite a lot of goals. It's just it turns out that his shots were not going in, and then Gallagher or Edouard were getting the goals.
Yeah.
And in the one game that I kept him and started him because I thought, oh well, Palace absolutely battered us 3-0. Obviously, we had Conte for the the second fixture, and he went and got himself sent off before half time.
Awesome.
And then we beat Palace 3-0. So yeah, he 1.5 points per game for nearly 10 game weeks. And he's a £7 million plus player.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
that's the worst buy of the season by nearly a country mile.
So pretty good on that one. I didn't realise how bad he was during that period.
Yeah.
Yep. Truly awful.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that might win. You've convinced me. I mean,
Even 1 week for Conor Gallagher for you two, you got like 14 points.
Yeah.
So
Conor
that's
Gallagher was
2
good.
points more than what I got for nearly 10 weeks of Zaha.
Yeah.
Game week 15, Conor
There you go.
Gallagher
Yeah.
That's 2 weeks after I bought Zaha.
against Everton, I believe. He scored twice.
Fun, right?
I mean, yeah, I had my version of Zaha, which was Adama Traore, the trap, the enigma that is Adama Traore.
You kept him for way too long.
Yeah, I think I brought him in on my wild card, possibly, and that is
Because Wolves had good fixtures.
well, they had good fixtures, and if you remember the first few weeks, Wolves weren't scoring, but Traore was he'd hit the post a couple of times, and he looked really good, and he was playing every week, and it was a case of it's only a matter of time. He's going to score eventually, and that did not happen. Yeah, I think I've got 3 points for him. 3, 2, 1, 1, and then I probably sold him before 8, where he got 5. To check that. Yeah, 2, 1, 1. Did I get the 8 pointer? Doubt it.
No.
No. Yeah, the week I sold him, he finally got something. Yeah. Absolute bloody nightmare. Like all the Wolves players. Because my striker could have quite easily been Hwang. Because he was in a great run of form. Brought him in. Stopped scoring.
Yeah, Hwang is another one.
Yeah.
Who I've had. So we'll get on to strikers after you've finished with Traore.
I think I've finished with Traore. Yeah.
I think we're all done.
Yeah,
Traore.
we're all done. Yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't speak too soon. He might be back because Barcelona are not going to sign him.
no.
He's going to have 12 months left on his deal. It'll be a question of whether he decides to Wolves sell him for a reduced fee or he sees the season out of Wolves and leaves on a free.
Yeah, I'm still.
Barcelona. If like I said about De Jong, if De Jong joins Man United for like 80 million, Barcelona are probably going to put a segment of that money in getting Rafinha from Leeds.
Mm.
That's the rumours that are jumping around anyway. So there's a lot of things hanging on one transfer really to start a row of transfers. I mean, I don't know who Leeds would get, but I'm hoping they'd probably want to sell Rafinha before like deadline day, so they could get some players in and strengthen.
I think they'd need to, yeah. They get rid of Rafinha, so
I think Rafinha's made it quite clear he wants to leave. Same with Charlison, Evan.
yeah.
I think they brought in Aaron Aronson.
They have. Aronson's a really good player. From Salzburg, 20-year-old American.
I think Russ got the reference.
Yes, I know he got the reference.
Yeah.
Aaron A. Aronson.
Hot fuzz.
I don't know. I don't think he's a right winger though. He's a central mid. So
Yeah, he's
Hmm.
a number 9, number 10. Sorry, sits behind the attacker,
Yeah.
which might be good if Bamford's fit.
mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hopefully
First
Bamford's
name on
fit.
the first name on the list of players. Aronson.
Oh yeah, it will be. Yeah. He definitely will be.
Keep an eye on that one.
Mm. Yep. Yep. But yeah, strikers. So Calvert-Lewin for you guys. So I guess you said players that didn't return for you, but yeah, Calvert-Lewin did not have a good season, did he?
No, there was quite a few I could have picked here. Who didn't return? Pookie didn't get me any returns when I had him.
Yeah.
Wang. There was a few others, but when I looked at looked into the the stats a bit more, I had Calvert-Lewin for 2 game weeks. Game week 4, wild card.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a theme. There's a theme here.
Got injured.
Game week 4, wild card. He didn't play. He was in. He got injured just before in the warm up, I believe, if I remember rightly. He got injured in the warm up.
Ah,
0 points.
awesome.
Then I brought him in on a free hit in game week 19.
Didn't play.
He missed a penalty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
brought him in twice and didn't get any points whatsoever.
Wow.
So that is that and I can't beat that. You can't beat that. He literally got me 0 points.
Did you take hits to get him in as well? Because maybe he got you minus points.
I did when he missed the penalty.
No,
Oh, yeah.
wild card and a free hit. So no, I didn't take any hits, but he still got 0.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was that's what done it. But yeah, there was others obviously. There, Ings, Vardy, Pookie, Wang didn't return much at all.
No.
Once or twice, and that's it. Weghorst brought him in for the double game week against for Burnley.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And in 2 game weeks. So the list of strikers was quite long, but Calvert-Lewin the biscuit for not 80 points.
That is impressive. I mean, one I don't think you got him was Broya, who me and Mike have gone for.
Yeah, I only had him for 1 week, I think.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
And he actually got returned. Well, it might have been the game week though they had a double and he got 4, so he got 2 twos.
Right. Yeah.
The bench. So I technically didn't have it.
He was one that similar to Alonso for me. It seemed to be when I had him, nothing. When I didn't, he did something. But yeah,
near him.
Yeah, and I
didn't go near him.
Yeah, I brought him in for I think like Mike for the doubles Southampton had and stuff like that, and yeah, I think he didn't play one of them, and yeah, just so frustrating. So.
I think I picked him in FPL4 a few times and he didn't get anything. So
yeah,
I understand. I get that.
Yeah.
But you both had him in your teams for a while.
Yeah, I did. And he didn't. I don't think he got me anything really. Maybe a 4-pointer, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So I assume that's similar with you, Mike.
I owned him for 11 weeks.
Mm.
I rephrase that. I started him for 11 weeks, and he got me 12 points.
Wow.
Which averages 1 point a game, 1.09 points a game. So
it's not good.
Just enough for a substitution appearance for 11 weeks.
Yeah.
The worst performing player of all of my statistics for this season.
Oh, is he?
By a country mile. Because I kept persisting on playing him. or he was bench one for players that didn't play, and
Mhm.
he'd come in and get 1 point because I'd put him bench one and go,
Yeah,
he's a good option.
yeah.
Um,
I'm sure that happened to me a few times.
mhm.
Definitely.
I mean, truly awful. I mean, I had such a bad week. A bad season with strikers.
Mm.
I mean, that epitomized how bad I was with strikers. I mean, my best performing striker was Jimenez, and I had him for 10 game weeks, and Jimenez only scored me a total of 50 points. So that's 5 points a game week for Jimenez.
This shows how bad Broya was for me. Remember, Hwang would have been a good choice as well because he
Yeah, he
was
didn't
awful.
get any returns.
And as I said, Lukaku, but also could have been Dennis, who, if you remember, got sent off in a double game week when I captained him.
Yeah.
And Jimenez is another one I had who also got sent off when I had him and got me like -2. But still, I thought, nah, Broya was worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
So that about
Yeah.
sums it up.
Yeah.
It was quite similar.
Yeah. Oh, and he's Chelsea loanee, isn't he? Broya.
Broya
Yeah.
is, yeah, he'll be going back there, but I doubt they'll keep him.
Oh,
I
well,
imagine
there you
he'll go
bloody
out
go.
on loan again.
Typical. See.
The rumours was when he was having such a good start to the season was that obviously his price went up from like 10 million to like 30.
Hmm.
Broya didn't score after game week 24, and that was against Tottenham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't actually assist after that either.
Nope.
So he finished the season with 6 goals and 2 assists, which is dreadful, really. Not bad for what his price point was, admittedly, if you
Yeah, it
call
was.
those good returns.
Yeah, it was cheap. That was the thing. The problem
But
was one of the big problems was the kind of rotationy thing going on there as well, wasn't it? It's like Che Adams, Broya, and Armstrong as well.
25 to 38, he scored no more than 2 points in the game.
Yeah.
I swear one of those games he scored twice as well.
No.
Against Burnley.
No.
So his points came in one game. Half
No,
his
he didn't score in Burnley in 33. That was away.
No, like early in the season he got
Early in the season, he got a goal and assist against Crystal Palace for 12 points.
Hmm.
So he only got 2 assists all season, so there's one of them. And that was, he only got 6 goals all season. So yeah, that was his only double figure. 2 draw with Palace, game week 17. And then he got an assist against West Ham. That's probably what convinced people to buy him. Then he got a solitary point against Tottenham in game week 20. 21, he got 8 points against Brentford. And then that was it. That was the beginning of the end, really, for him.
Wow. I can't believe we picked him, but there you go.
5.3, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, true.
Starting every week. I mean, that's the sad thing is like I said, I owned him for 11 weeks. And of those 11 weeks, in the doubles, he either played one or missed the other. In one of the doubles, he played both, but he only got 3 points.
Yeah.
You know? And in like 90 minutes, 2 points, 81 minutes, 2 points, 25 minutes, a point, 11 minutes, a point, 73 minutes, he played 1 point. Just awful. And these are games where they were actually winning. These are not games where they were losing.
Nope.
They won these games. The 73 minutes and 1 point. That was against Arsenal. They beat Arsenal 1-0.
Ward-Prowse was getting all the points, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Pretty much, he hoovered them up.
Yeah.
Ward-Prowse or Walker Peters. I would have been much better off with Walker Peters.
Yeah.
And he was in a game where they lost 6-0, and it still would have outscored Broya by about 3 times the amount of points over that period. So, truly the worst pick.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we should we could probably wrap it up there on a nice positive note.
Yeah, don't buy Broya.
Don't buy Broya. Wherever he is next season, don't buy him.
If he ends up at Bournemouth, don't buy him.
Yeah. But yeah, that brings us to an end. Over 3 hours it's recording. Is So we've been going
Yeah,
a while. So it's a nice long one. If you've got this far, well done. But yeah, no, thanks for listening, everyone. Hopefully you've enjoyed the season, and yeah, we'll be back. Well, we'll probably be back next year to do it all over again. So yeah, have a good break. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.
ta-ta.
Bye.